course it did. Okay. We're gonna try this again. I don't know why it was having an issue there, but it really was. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but the stream kind of like... The stream kind of ate shit, low-key. So, we're just gonna try this again. Let's see, okay. So... Okay. Alright, is this working? I can't tell. Okay. Let's hope it works this time, because oh my god, my stream kind of crashed. Kind of ate ass last time, so that's wonderful. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Anyways, let's go back to this. I just need the... Okay. That's a given. Oh, okay. Hi, Coffin Box. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. We just need... oops. That's not what I meant to do. My computer kind of hiccuped on me there. So it's like dipping their head down further, and in my opinion... You know what? I'm just gonna... And then we're just gonna get this further down, and I'm actually gonna... Hey! How are you doing, Coffin? I hope good. Let's see. Okay, so... That doesn't, like, move down enough for me. Like, I want it to move down a bit more. And then, you know, have... And maybe we have an extra... We have an extra one, just in case. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we have an extra for just going down once more. And obviously the face is, like, contorting to kind of, you know, reflect that it's turning down. Okay. That... You know what? Yeah, that's a little bit of an issue, but that's okay. I can fix it. It's also been really good practice to be animating faces, while, I am good just locking in on some random OC artwork because I have been lacking lately. How are you? I'm good. That's good to hear that, you know, it's good to hear you're locking in. You know, I really gotta lock in, on a lot of things. So I totally get it. Let's see. So, and then we need an oh, that's not what I meant to do. That is not at all what I meant to do. Okay, that's fine. I'll just zoom in. Oh, that little... Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because now I have more room. Let's see. Let's make 7C into a middle ground. We'll start with the eyes, because that, I don't know, it's easier for me to start with the eyes. And let's see the distance. Oh man, I really hope the commissioner is happy with this once I finish it. So let's see, there's that, and I'm gonna add another in between actually. Yeah, I'm gonna add another in between because I don't think. Hang on. Let's just test it. I mean, it's not bad, but it is very fast. And not that that's always a bad thing, but this is kind of... It's kind of more of a... Like, not a slower movement, but it is not nearly that fast. Holy moly, that looks so peak so far. Bro, your style is so pretty. I love the way you draw people, animate slash very pause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coffin. That's very, very sweet of you. I'm happy you really like the way I draw people. Yeah, I have been I've just been this is just a commission for I think it should say on screen who it's a commission for. They're one of my mutuals on TikTok. I think we're mutuals. Oh man, I hope I'm not like spouting garbage right now with like them being my mutual, because I don't know. I think they are my mutual. Yeah, I think they are my mutual. I hope I'm not like spouting false info. But let's see. Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. And let's see. The casting. What's something I could talk about? I'll talk about the casting. Help me, core, for real. That's so fair, bro. I felt that, dude. Like, okay. One of the things that I like really struggle with is like I have to hang on, what? Oh, okay, I see. Never mind. Like I've been really like thinking about like here I'll talk about a bit about Unseen just while I'm working on these commissions. May as well. So I don't know if you've heard Coffin. You might have not. I don't know if I'm not very like, I don't know if I'm very open about it on TikTok yet. But yeah, the animated series I'm working on, it just closed for casting. And I am currently like going through and selecting the actors and the characters that they will be playing. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see. I was gonna apologize for blabbing, but it's literally my stream. I can blab if I want to. I'm a very people pleasery guy in regular everyday life, so I'm very not used to having space to talk about things that I just talk, you know. Let's see, 7A. I think I'm gonna move over like this. And then 7B. Yo, that's cool. Thank you. Yo, that's fucking cool. Thank you. I'm happy you think so. Yeah, I'll be starting. No, bro, pop off, speak your shit. Thank you. I definitely like I've been working on the world of the show for about going on, like, the world of the show that I'm producing is about 7 years old. Yeah, going on 7 years. I've been developing it for. But like the actual like story that is like Unseen, which is what the name of the Unseen, which is the name of the animated series. Unseen is just like it's a pretty new story, all things considered. Like this world I made for a different story of mine that I'm also going to be making into an animated show called Moon of Ronos. And I'm very excited for that as well. Let's see, I think I need a bit more of an arc. Okay. So like, yeah, I've just been kind of working on that. See, does that jump too much? You know what? It's just a sketch. It doesn't really matter if it jumps too much. I'm locking the fuck in for this lore info. Thank you. I'm happy you really like it. I'm happy you like it. And like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've been developing the world for about 7 years, since March of 2019 actually. So it'll be 7 years in March. I remember actually, I don't remember the exact day I started, but I do know it was in March. It would have been in the first week or so. and it's yeah. And so the here I'll talk about like the setting of Unseen. So Unseen is it takes place in a specific town in the world of Moon of Ronos, which has a name. It's called Ornmos. Um, and I refer to it as the world of Moon of Ronos because Moon of Ronos is like the main story that takes place in it. Um, but what am I saying? Right. But like technically, it's a world for all of my stories. So but Unseen takes place in a town. The town is called Riversbeak, and it's like a I don't know how to describe it. It's like a town. It's how do I even describe it? It's like a town. No way, Sal. No way. There's no way it's like a town. That's crazy. That's nuts. But you know, it's a town that is under the sovereign, like the person who runs the town is known as the seer, and she's like the daughter of a she's like the direct daughter of a god, so she's like a demigod kind of, and she is the main villain in Moon of Ronos, but the main villains in Unseen are actually Chancellor Latour, another who serves the seer as like her right hand, and then another dude named Captain Blaine who like works essentially in conjunction with Chancellor Latour. Um, yeah, so so it's like I've been working on the show. Like I actually came up with the concept for the show itself. Like I've been like obviously the characters have existed beforehand, but for the show itself alone, I have been working on this, and this might not be a flex, but I have been working on this show concept since like September or October of 2025. And that might not sound like a flex because it's like, oh, it's underdeveloped, but just because it's in like a 7-year-old world, I'm pretty confident that it'll do fine. Yeah, so yeah. One of the things that I should bring up is like let's see if my computer can stop. Okay, there we go. So this sounds peak as hell. I will lock in so hard for this show. I am locking in. Thank you so much, Coffin. That's really, really sweet of you. I really appreciate that. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And here, I'll show you the poster for it. I can take a break from the commission for a moment. I'm going to save it, though, so I don't lose it. Calm 1. And let's see. So I'm going to actually I'm going to make the commission for Salem the Tyrant. I'm going to make that invisible for a moment, so it doesn't seem like the other stuff I'm working on is also a commission. So here's the poster for it. Where you got this. For real, want to see you have this show pop off because it sounds so good. I love supporting my fellow artists. Show this poster. Yeah, so this is the poster for it. Thank you so much, by the way. This it literally means the world, your support. Thank you so much. Yeah, so here's the poster. This is so these are the two main characters. The person in the front, here, let me move it so my character's not blocking it. So the character in the front is Rulin, who's actually the brainchild of my partner. Bro, that's so pretty. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so so the person in front is Rulin, the brainchild of my partner, who is I won't give away too much, obviously, but he does play. He's like the main character. He has an important connection to one of the main villains, and then we have his friend, who you don't think is going to be his friend at first, but we have the Blight, who's standing right behind Rulin. The lighting, Rog eating this up. Thank you so much, Coffin. That's really, really sweet. Yeah, so that's a thank you. Like, yeah, and I've decided, like, okay, this is actually going to be a large, actually, how do I do that? How do I edit my stream? Like, let's see, let's edit, working on stuff, working on animation. Working on animation, we'll just call it that for now because I'm currently not working on specifically the commission. So I will be, but I should disclaim that I'm not. Let's see. So yeah, but this is the poster for it. Here, I'll show you some of the other characters. Sorry, you've activated my autism, and now I'm like, I want to talk about this. I hope that's okay. I'm just very autistic, and I like when people are interested in things I have. So let's see. So let's see. Where is a good example of? Let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna go to my me when my own OC Lauren AU. Dead ass, dude. I felt that. Oh my god. Like, there's something so, I don't know, there's something so fun about making characters and making silly little blorbos and giving them lore and shit. Like, I love that. I love it so much. Let's see. So, where's a good example? I think I already have this open, but I'll open it anyways. Yes, I did already have it open. Where's a good example of, like, Rulin, for example? Or here, there's the, here, let's see, where, I just saw it, and now it's gone. Let's see, I'm just gonna find the, yeah, it should be called, oh, there it is. I was like, it should be called Rulin's name, and it is. I'm just, no, please talk about this because I love learning about other OCs and lore. Thank you so much. Okay, I definitely will be talking about it then. So, okay, so the main thing, these are three of the, like, they're not main characters, but they are, like, important to the story. They're essentially the reason that the Blight and Rulin meet. So this is Gritgut. Obviously that's not his birth name, but that's the name he goes by. So that's Gritgut. And these guys are all bullies. Like, I'd hesitate to call them bullies because they do actively, like at one point in the show, this isn't like a spoiler or anything, it's revealed in the first episode, but they do, like, attack Rulin and trap him in a place and leave him to die. So I would hesitate to call them bullies, just because they're, like, obviously bullying is not a good thing either, but these guys are, like, physical, like, they're trying to kill Rulin. So, that's Gritgut, and then this is Crusher. I had no idea what to name him, and then I realized that he's a very strong kid. Like, he's about, I have this on his casting call, on the casting call listing. He's about 15, I want to say. He could be 16. I could be wrong. But he's about, they are assholes. Exactly. They're assholes. I don't know how else to word it. So this is Crusher. He's the younger sibling of Gritgut. And the third one I'm going to show you is the twin of Gritgut. This is Urthug. Urthug is she's very, if I had to compare her to any characters, like, that in media that I like, I would compare her very much to, like Rough Nut or Tough Nut. Like, she's kind of that kind of vibe where she's kind of like, she's an asshole, but unlike Rough Nut and Tough Nut, she's not redeemable at all. Like, she doesn't have any redeeming qualities. She doesn't get a redemption. She's just a dick, for lack of a better term. But she, yeah, so those are the three, like, main big bad, like those are the three big bads that reveal, like, get Rulin and the Blight to meet. Yeah, I see that. Okay, I'm glad you do, because I took some inspiration from, like, I definitely took a lot of inspiration from How to Train Your Dragon when writing these three specific characters, because I love the way, like, the bully characters are written in How to Train Your Dragon, so I tried my best to, like, take a little bit of inspiration, like, it was kind of the vibe. But yeah, so here, I'll show you the, let's see, who else do I have on this sheet? I mean, there's Rulin, and I'll just get rid of the bullies for a minute. So there's Rulin. This is Rulin before his hair is cut. This is also, like, it's pretty much, it's revealed in the first episode, so it's not exactly a spoiler, but his hair is cut by the bullies, because he has, as you can see in both of the, yes, How to Train Your Dragon, my beloved childhood, I agree, oh my god. Like, okay, but, like, one of the things that, like, as you can see with the, like, unseen cover, he has very long, like, Rulin has very long hair, and that's because his father is from a specific group of people that I have developed for this world. I won't give away their name yet, because I think that's more important in the series than just talking about the series. But it's a specific, like, group of people. Such an amazing design, holy moly. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That really means the world. Thank you so much. But yeah, so Rulin he has his hair long because he comes from, like, his adoptive dad is a member of a group of people who keep their hair long. And that is, like, that's, like, a lore thing. Like, usually it's, like, the men, like the men or the, like, male identifying, like, folks. Like, obviously there's trans people all over the place in my world because I have a problem. No, I'm just kidding. I love representing people like me and people like, and like, just people in general. So, but, like, for more male, like, leaning identities, it's common to have their hair be very long, like, because I think that's fun. And then Gritgut and Urthug and Crusher, they cut, and it's actually Gritgut that does it. Me. Yeah, like, right? And, like, okay, so, like, let's see, oh, right. So, like, what am I saying? Right. Oh my god, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. Oh, right, okay. So, and I've been developing, as I said, I've been developing this world for around 7 years. It'll be 7 years in March, and I am very excited to start showing people this world because it has gone through many, many iterations. It has gone through a lot of changes. It has gone through a lot of, it's changed a lot in its 7 years of existing and in the 7 years of development. And I'm very proud with where it is now. And let's see, and, like, here, I'll show you the dagger, kind of looks like oh, I'm so gonna pronounce it wrong, but it kind of looks like a scimitar, almost. It's got, like, a curved blade, almost like a scimitar or a kalij, which is a Turkish, type of, like, sword. I do a lot of research on culture. I apologize. I talk my shit about culture a lot. So, this is called a Vativ, and it's a specific, like the group of people that Rulin's father comes from. It's like a ceremonial thing. You get it at a certain age. You get a Vativ at a certain age, and then it's like you use it to cut your hair if you ever need to. But the big thing with Vativs is don't let anyone else use it unless you have, like, given them explicit permission, because it's a thing that only you can use. It's supposed to be, like, intertwined with your soul, and like, as a person from this group. Here, I'll show you. There. No, that's good, because you know what the fuck you're doing, because then you know what the fuck you're doing when making these characters. Exactly, right? Like, that's, and it's been nice because I've been working on these like it's nice because as like I don't know, I'm very happy with where the world is now, that I've developed. Let's see, where is, yeah, there's Mork. uh do I want to? Yeah, you know what, it's not like it's anything really. um okay, so this is his father. This is Rulin's father. His name's Mork. He is a he's a member of these folks, of this like group of people. He's technically he's half this like ethnicity, um, but he is like he's half this ethnicity, half another ethnicity. Um, and the two halves are, he's half Vatish and he's half Badic, or like Badon. Um, and Badic is like the humans that live in Riverspeak. And then like typically the humans that live in Riverspeak. He is so pretty, holy moly, godzam. Thank you. I'm happy you think so. He is yeah, I've changed his design around a lot. Like he used to just look like a twink. Not that there's anything wrong with twink character designs, but it was not like the vibe for him. He's war torn, he's not war torn, but he's been in battle before, and this is, he's not exactly a twink. So yeah, so that's Mork, which is Rulin's dad. Coffin when men core real. Oh my god. Like, and like there's here, let's see. I'd have to find the let me find the, okay. So yeah, let's see. Katish. No, that's for Kids Delights. But yeah, I've got a couple like large scale projects. Obviously I'm focusing first on Unseen, but there's a couple large scale projects I have in the works. Let's see, where is, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see, where is it? Let's see, I think. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I'll open the. Yeah, maybe I'll open that. I don't know. Where is it? Sorry, just give me a moment. I cannot find this. Let's see. I often make like audio scripts. Like I've made a couple audio scripts for two of my animated projects, for both Moon of Ronos and Unseen. And they're just like basic audio scripts. I do the lines, like the character lines, even if I'm not the voice actor of any of the characters, but I do the lines anyways, just because that's, it's easier. I don't have to like, it's just an audio script. In the final, the cast, like the actual voice actors will be, playing the characters, but I figure just for a like little tiny like for just a little tiny like audio test, I could just speak the lines. So let's see. So there is, here, I'll show you another character which is on this same sheet. This is I accidentally recently worked her into the story a lot. Not that one. That is Cass. She is already worked into the story a lot. No, that's not it either. Oh, yep. And where is her lines? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is Wolf Eyes, or simply Wolf Eye. Her one eye was like gouged out. So, yeah, so she only has one, but she used to be known as Wolf Eyes. I'm just taking all of this in. Thank you so much. I'm happy you really like it. That's very sweet. I honestly, like, it means the world that like, people are supporting what I do and what I make, because I've been developing
this stuff since 2019 and like some of the characters since 2018 or 2017. So, yeah. So this is Wolf Eyes. I'm gonna lean more into her name, give her more of a reason to be named Wolf Eyes, because currently she doesn't really have a reason to be called Wolf Eyes. She's just like, she just has regular eyes. So I was thinking that it's probably like she's very sharp, like she has very sharp like sense of vision. She can see a lot of things. She pays a lot of attention. And I was thinking maybe I make her into like, I don't know. I was thinking about a couple things, but I want her name to be Wolf Eyes, and maybe I'll lean into that more. Maybe I'll here. Actually, you know what? Let's concept. Give me a minute. I'm just gonna go to here, and I'm gonna go. I just named the canvas Gay. The RHL said, I'm going to bed, but I just wanted to check in on you, see how you're doing. Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you for checking in. I hope you're doing well as well. Have a good night, though. Have a good night. Let's see. So, Wolf Eyes, I don't usually, like, I have set brushes for everything in my art program, which is Clip Studio Paint. And I don't really like crossing. You should give her a wolf skin as a coat to wear. Oh, that's a great idea. Like, she's like, because she's like, okay, oh, that's good. I like that. Where's my Storyboards Pro Pseudo Pen? Let's see. So she's like, the kind of like vibe is that, like, she probably, I could make her have like some kind of mutation that makes her eyes look a little bit off, a little bit less human. Because I think that might be interesting. But she is human. Make no mistake. This is a human woman. There are like in-world like I've developed like a bunch of in-world conditions for the like these humans to have. I feel like, let's see. I feel like her eyes, like, okay, I need to like look at like, oh, but it'd make more sense if her name was Snake Eyes then. But maybe her eyes are just like obviously the eyes don't have to look like wolf eyes, because those wolf eyes and canine eyes look pretty identical to, like, not identical, but they do look pretty similar to human eyes. And that's just because, mammals. Obviously there's some mammals that don't have that kind of eye look. But a good chunk of mammals do. There's a reason. There's a specific like family that the eyes are in, but I can't remember what it is. Let's see. So she's got like, I also tried to give her like a bigger, like a larger brow bone. Just because that's one of the traits of like Baetic humans, like humans from where she lives, she's a Baetic human, and typically with Baetic people, they have like larger brow bones or more pronounced brow bones. It's not always larger, but it's always more pronounced, or at least that's what I'm trying to do. Let's see, and then Girly Pop, I need your face. Okay. And then her, like, pseudo-facial crest, which is not really even a facial crest, but it kind of, it supplements the idea of a facial crest. Okay, okay, yeah. There we go. So, she's definitely gonna have, like, a wolf skin. Like the skin of a beast that she wears. And, like, oh, yeah, I just, okay. I had an idea for this character, and I just remembered it. Because in the world that I have developed, there aren't many, like, obviously if there are, like there can be, but most of the time there are no real world animals. Like, I've developed, like, fake animals for the most part. I've constructed, like, my own species and stuff for the world. But they do take a lot of, like, they are very rooted in reality, or at least they try to be a good chunk of the time. But I just had the idea that maybe she has, like, maybe Wolf Eyes, her coat, like the coat she wears is the, like, pelt from, like, because she lives in a very, like, because she's from she's from Rivers Beak, and it's a town that's entirely situated on like a system of, like, rivers, and I feel like she would, and, like, the thing with the battalion members is they're like that, because that's, like, the whole conflict in Unseen is Rulin having to join this thing called the battalion, which is, like, basically the law enforcement of Rivers Beak. So I had the idea that maybe like, Wolf Eyes is, she is, I want her to be a member of the battalion. And I think I want it to be so, the battalion kills, like, they kill a lot of, like, animals. Like, that sounds really bad, but the battalion is also a group of really bad people most of the time. They kill mostly, like, they kill, like, monsters and stuff, like creatures that, like, get in the way or are not, like, they're not good people. They're not good people. But the thing I was going to say is I think that, like, she should have killed, like, a beast. Help. Yeah, right? Like, yeah, and I think she should have killed a beast that I have been developing for a couple maybe a year now. A creature called I think I called them just wolf fish, and I'm still working on that title. That's just, like, a placeholder name for them. But they're, like, furred fish, because I think that's interesting. And maybe she wears, like, the pelt of one of them. Because she, like, that's, like, what she kills. She's like, I'm the wolf fish lady. I kill a bunch of innocent fish. And it's like, oh no, girl, if you're not eating those fish, you probably shouldn't be killing them. I mean, I guess, I don't know, unless they're pests, but still, like, jeez. But she's not a nice lady. Like, I want to make her look more angry in this. Because she's the mom of, like, the bullies, and, she didn't raise her kid, like, she did raise her kids, and, that's kind of a tell to me if your kids grew up to be, like, mean people, that you're kind of a mean person yourself. So, if you have kids that are mean, sometimes it's not on the parents, but a good chunk of the time I would argue it is. But that's just a theory, a game theory. So I feel like, and obviously that's not to say that if your parents are mean, you will be mean. That is not. I'm just saying that nurture is a large part of human existence. But what am I saying? Right. I feel like Wolf Eyes, like, she's very, how do I even describe this? Hi, Mork. That's not what I didn't want you, Mork. I wanted to open this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do this, and okay. And I feel like, and I'll draw one of her with her battalion, like, I can't remember what I called them, battalion face shield, I think. Yeah, I'll draw one of her with her battalion face shield on, and one of her without. But she's, like, she's not a nice lady, not a very nice lady at all. She is, let's see, I feel like this, feel like she's not that old. She's old, but she's not like super wrinkly face old, like she's not, like, it wouldn't warrant, her design wouldn't warrant too many like too many wrinkles yet, because she's only about, like, I mean, yeah, she's in a war, and so she would have, like, physically aged prematurely, but she's only, like, I want to say like 42. Yeah, I want to say she's like 42. So she's like, she's not that old. She's just stressed all the time and a mean woman, and frowning gives you wrinkles, I guess. I don't know. Is that true? I mean, I'm sure it is. I'm sure, like, if you have, like, something, if you have a specific way you hold your face, then I'm sure that has some kind of effect on, like, your, like, on how you're gonna age. But, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could very much be wrong. Let's see. So, she is... What kind of pose do I want her in? I think? Yeah, like, I think so. I think that's how that works, right? Like, it would make sense. I think that's how that works. I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't know much about, like, skin or how skin, like, weathers with time, so I don't know. It could be different for all I know. Okay, so I'm going to, let's see, what am I gonna do? Okay, I don't know what kind of pose I want her in. I'm gonna actually give her, like, a more, like, weird eye, like, maybe with, like, a circle in the middle or something, I don't know, like, or, like, maybe like this. Okay. She has a chronic eye condition, and it is not very nice. Because I have a chronic condition, and I like giving all my characters chronic conditions, because I like projecting. Let's see, so... Her lips are kind of, like, lanky for being a soldier, so I'm just gonna fix that. Make her more, like, muscly. And the deltoid comes around like that. So it'd be more like this. Yeah, but, like, there's, So yeah, this is, and I might change her role completely because I like her name so much, and sometimes when I like a character's name, I'm like, help, I'm the same, to be honest. That, right? Like, that's kind of the thing, is like, I don't know, I honestly, like, I don't know, I feel like projecting onto my characters, so I do a lot. But one of the things I was gonna say is, like, I might change her role completely. Like, at first I made her so she could be, Gritgut Urthug and, Crusher's mom, but, maybe I'll make her, like, a totally different person in the battalion. I still want to develop their mom, but I don't know, maybe Wolf Eyes, because the thing about the battalion is the seer they serve. She's a very, she's very, all about, like, vision, because she, that's, like, her thing. She's the seer. She sees the future and shit. So I feel like someone with an eye condition like Wolf Eyes would not be treated very well by her, and would not be exactly looked upon fondly by her. So maybe I'll do that, because I think that's interesting. Like, yeah, maybe she's the... Oh, yeah, actually, I realized how I could work her in. I have two characters that I didn't know what to do with, so I just kind of cut from Unseen, but and they don't appear in the first episodes, so they're not really, like, they're not really consequential yet. But I feel like Wolf Eyes could fill the role of the character that I removed, one of the characters I removed. Because I had a character named Sanya, and she was a girl who was, like, about Rulin's age, and her brother was like, the last person to be added to, like, the Gritgut Crusher and Earthug troop, and then, they left him to die, and he did. And they think it was at the Blight's hands. Like, that is supposedly how all these people are dying, is at the Blight's hands. And, like, I'm picturing, like, maybe instead of a brother, it was like this, like, Wolf Eyes' son or daughter, and she's like, I don't know how you even survived that, man. Like, how did you do that? The Blight is scary, bro. Yeah, I could picture that, because I had the idea for the plotline that would be like, the Blight is like, Rilla's like, no, he's chill, he's chill. I'm gonna introduce you to this super, like, this seemingly super dangerous undead child. I should give more info on that, maybe. Yeah, maybe I should. Would you guys be interested if I gave more info on, like, the Blight? Because he's like one of the titular characters in like, in Unseen. Because he's an undead kid, with and he's very, like, how do I word it? Like, he's undead, and there's a specific process to becoming undead in... Yes, okay, bet. There's a specific a very specific process to becoming an undead, like, humans, particularly, in my world, like, in the world of Ormos. There's a very specific process to becoming an undead human, like, to be risen from the dead. And it's basically, it's not a good process. It's not fun. And this kid, who didn't have a name when he was killed, he was killed, and then he was revived, essentially, a long time afterwards, like, after the fact. So his body had basically, like, just completely decayed. Not completely, but it had decayed a good amount. And essentially the Blight is, it went, and then the Blight's body was re-risen, and, like, the soul was put back into it by this big creature that you'll learn about in Unseen. Essentially this kid, the Blight, which is the only name you know him by for, like, the first episode. The Blight was sent to serve in the town of Riversbeak as, like, not a second in command. A second in command implies that he has any kind of, like, control over what's happening. And he doesn't. He's like, for all intents and purposes, he's like a subordinate. He's a lower office. He's like a lower dude, who just, like, does, like, errands and stuff for the seer. It wasn't always that way, though, but that's gone into in the series. And I won't give it away here. But the Blight is, and ever since one specific incident in the Blight's backstory, Rulin was not alive for this. This was before Rulin was born. The Blight committed treason against the city, and essentially was just, like, shamed and, like, was turned into someone that people had originally looked into. Yeah, like an intern. Exactly, Salem. Like an intern. Exactly. Like, and that's kind of the thing. Also, hello, Salem. Welcome to the stream. So, let's see. I'm just going to quickly finish this, and then I'm going to go back to the commission. But yeah, he's like, he's not, he's not treated well, especially because in many people's eyes, he committed treason. And people kind of think that he's this dangerous, like, really, like, he's this really dangerous person, and he's not. He's just a kid who got murdered, and then, like, had to be, like, risen for the purpose of, like, servitude again. But I'll go more into that when the series is out. Obviously, like, the production is not, like, fully on yet. It's nowhere close to done, so it's not like I should be going into it right now. But essentially, like the Blight, he's everyone in the town, like depending on where you go, views him in one of three ways. There is the main way, which is like for all of the law-abiding parts of town, and that main way is like he's scary. He's gonna kill you if the seer's not there to like stop him, and he's like really, he's a vengeful like demon. And then there's the way of viewing him that a lot of people have in this other place in Riversbeak called it's a place in the city. It's called the Boros Warehouse, and that's lore that I'll reveal both in Moon of Ronos and Unseen. But essentially, like, in the Boros Warehouse, this is a non-law abiding space. Like, it abides to basic laws, like don't kill people, but it doesn't abide by laws like, that, like the ones the seer sets out. It's exempt from those kind of laws, and which is good because those types of laws are ridiculous. But one of the things that, like, essentially one of the things that, like, how do I even word this? So the Boros Warehouse views the Blight as, instead of calling the Blight, they call the Blight the dog or the mutt, because they view him as, like people there kind of view him as, just like the seer's dog. Like, he just does all her dirty work, and, like, he's just kind of, like, they don't respect him, but he is, like, they don't respect him, even though he's a dead child. They don't respect him. But then there's the way of another specific area called the Arrow's Head Inn, which is, like, the main place in the second part of Moon of Ronos and in Unseen. And in the Arrow's Head, they view him as, like, a martyr. They view him as, like, yeah, he died in vain, and now he has, like not a martyr, but I don't know how to word it, but he's, like, he died because of this religion, and he is forced to serve the rest of his afterlife because of it. And it's like, they kind of view him with, like, pity. So no one really views him with, like, like a good lens. There's people who view him with pity, and there's people who view him, like, as just, like, a lose, like, like a losing, like just a dog doing all of the dirty work for the head honcho. And then there's the main part of the town, the main bulk of the town that views him as just, like, the worst thing ever, as, like, this dangerous, vengeful demon. Coffin Box says, aw, yeah, this poor child, man. Yeah, he's going through it. He's going through it. And he goes even more through it in the sequel series of Unseen, Moon of Ronos. But don't worry, he gets a semi-happy ending. I say semi because I don't know how some people would take the ending I have planned for him, but in my opinion, it's happier than not. Here, I'll show you guys what Halom. Oh, I just said his name. That's supposed to. So he isn't exactly seen as a full person in any of those views. Exactly, he's not seen as a human being. He's seen as, like, less than a corpse. He's seen as less than. He's seen as, like, he's like, no, this isn't even a corpse at this point. This doesn't even deserve a burial. This is just like this, like, the thing that comes after corpse. This is just rot. Yay, happy ending. Exactly, right? And he does get a happy ending, or at least I think it's happy. At least that's how I have it planned. Here, let me show you his face. Let's see, where is... Oh, Halom. Yeah, okay. So I should probably explain why I'm calling him Halom and the Blight. He had... The Blight / Halom gets a name in Unseen. He doesn't have one from the start of his existence, when he was born in his actual life, to when he died, to when he started his afterlife. He doesn't have a name during any of that time. But when he meets Rulin gives him a name. And the name Rulin gives him is Halom, which comes from a Vatish word, which, again, the Vatish are, like, the group of people that Rulin's father is part of. Rulin's adoptive father is part of, and thus he's been raised around that culture all his life. And essentially, the like the whole idea of like the name he gives the blight is Halom, and that derives from a Vatish word for friend, which I've developed the whole Vatish language. The Vatish word for friend is Havov, and he basically like took that and changed it a little bit for Halom. And that's what Halom then introduces himself as to the main characters of Moon of Vronos, because he also plays a very important role in Moon of Vronos. And so does Rulin, actually. They all play pretty important roles. Like, the main characters are pretty much main characters through each story, except for Kit's Delights, because Kit's Delights takes place, like, thousands of years prior to the events of Unseen and Moon of Vronos. Like, it takes place in ancient Ornmos. Essentially, like mythological Ornmos. But here's Chancellor Latour. She is... she's giant. I should say that. She's giant, this lady. Fella... Oh my god. Right? Like, yeah. So this is Chancellor Latour. She's known as the right eye of the all-seeing, because that's like the whole bit. That's like the whole thing in the religion of Riversbeak, is they worship a god called the All-Seeing. It does have a name aside from that, but everyone calls it the All-Seeing. It's thought of as bad luck to call it by its like actual name. But like, she's the right eye of the All-Seeing, and I'll show you Blaine as well. Here, let me find him. Oh god, where's Blaine? Oh, Blaine. So, yeah, but like, how do I word this? So, I've been developing, and as I've said earlier in the stream, and I think in most of my streams where I've talked about Unseen and Moon of Vronos and Kit's Delights, I've been developing Ornmos as a world, which is the world that all of these stories take place in, for about 7 years now. It'll be 7 years in March. And I don't know, I think that it's pretty cool, because it's been a long time coming for me to actually like make something a bit more tangible. Like, I have made a webcomic for Moon of Vronos, but I kind of fell off with that, which really sucks, because I did want to keep up with it. I so badly wanted to keep up with the Moon of Vronos webcomic. Like, I have it, it's on Webtoon. If anybody wants to read like the very start of the story, you can go do that. It's just Moon of Vronos on Webtoon Canvas. It's not updated or anything. Like, it's very old. It's kind of outdated. But it is, you know, it's like a specific, like, it's a specific, like, I don't even know how to word it. Here, I'll open this sheet that has, Captain Blaine on it, because that is, something I told you guys I'd show you. So this is Captain Blaine. He's known as the left eye of the All-Seeing. And he's like a man. He used to be a human, but he's not anymore. He's kind of always he's progressively turning into a sight, like, warrior, essentially, is what I've just called them. It's a placeholder name, but it works for now. And essentially, they're based on terracotta warriors, like the ones that were buried with, oh my god, I know his name. I know this Chinese emperor's name. I know his name. Oh my god. But it was these terracotta warriors that were like, they're like full-sized, like, you know, like sculptures of people, sculptures of warriors that were buried with a certain Chinese emperor that I cannot remember the name of for the life of me, but I do know it. And like, essentially, these are like, he's turning into one of those, essentially. The in-world equivalent of one of those, at least. Because he's merged with part of the All-Seeing, which is like, you know. So, like, for example, in these, like in his chest, like in his chest opening, the seer can actually see out of this eye. Depending on where and what is happening, she can see out of this eye. And usually when she's looking out of something, and the seer I'm not going to show because she is kind of spoilers, but not really. But I'm not going to show her anyways. That's sick. What? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coffin. That means the world. Thank you. Yeah, but so the seer can see out of this, and essentially when she's not, it is just like here. Am I on the right? Here, let's see. Let's go on here. Essentially, when she's not looking out of it, it's completely dark. It's completely dark, like it's just shadow. Um, but when she is looking out of it, there's that eye. There's that like pupil that comes into. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna pronounce his name so wrong. Please forgive me. I'm so white. Qin Shi Huang? Huang? Oh god, I pronounced that so wrong, I bet. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. But yes, exactly like that, emperor, like that emperor. He is like, he's based on those terracotta warriors. And essentially, like something that I have developed is, so essentially also something I should also say is, the seer, and I won't give away her name because that's revealed in, the second season of Moon of Ronos, which is obviously a long ways away, but I would still like to keep some things under wraps. But essentially but the seer can also see out of his head. Like he can essentially just see out of, she can essentially just see out of his face. Also, hello Vac, welcome to the stream. And like, that's kind of the thing is like, the seer can see out of she can see out of this one, she can see out of this one, and she can see out of this one. And there's one on his back too that's like giant, and she can see out of that one if she so chooses. And like, he obviously has his own eyes, but she can't see through those, so she uses these little like pits in his body, in his like terracotta body, to kind of do the same thing. And yeah, so she's kind of it's kind of, I don't know. I've been developing this world for a long time, and I'm excited to share it with people. And another name for the blight in particular, is the blind eye, or simply the blind, because the blind, the blight, the blind, they sound similar, and he's thought to be like once powerful, like what's the word? I want to say once a powerful accomplice of the seer that worked with her, he now is like, she can't see out of him anymore, especially because, okay, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of lore, because I think this part is really cool. So I'm going to bring it onto this, actually, I'm just going to draw it. So this is, let's see. So it looks kind of like this. This is obviously a very quick, very shitty drawing of it, but this is the Seer's Sigil. And essentially what the Seer's Sigil it's also known as a sight sigil. It's essentially, they're painted like pretty much all over. Like there's this festival that marks the start of each year in Riversbeak. And every festival, there are like thousands upon thousands of these painted all over the walls of the city. Like all of the walls of the buildings, all over like the cliff walls that they live near. There's all types of, it's painted everywhere. And essentially this sigil is she can see out of these two. I'm going to tell you guys that right now. She, like, the seer can see out of these as well. And it, unlike with Blaine, on Blaine, there's not really there isn't a tell that she's looking through it. She's just always looking through it. And I think that's kind of cool. And like, yeah, so there's like a couple things that I've been, there's a couple things I've been working on. And one of which, like, here, I'll show you the actual Seer's Sigil, symbol, like not the crappy one I just drew. I'll show you the actual one. Let's see, let's open. I know I have it somewhere, but I just don't know where. Oh yeah, that's Behold False Idols. That's what the first name for Unseen was. Let's see. So I need a seer sigil. Actually, you know what? I think what I have for a seer sigil is right in my art program, actually. So give me 1 second. I'm just gonna open that up. Give me one moment. What's happening? Oh goodness. Hang on, my thing is having a minute. Art computer. I'm just gonna take that off for a minute just in case I have. Here, let me. Haha, there it is. Okay. So this is the, like, I love the world building so far. Thank you so much. I'm happy you do. Yeah, I've been, this world is, like, very important to me. Yeah, I don't know, it's something I've been working on for a long time, so. But here is the actual Seer Sigil. So that's, like, painted in white paint all around the city during festival time. And like it's gotten to the point, and you're not, and like okay, I'm rambling, I apologize. But in Riverspeak, it is thought of as bad luck. It is thought of, it's like pretty taboo to like wipe one of these symbols. It's super good, like, what? Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, so, but it's thought of as taboo to wipe these symbols and to like clean them off and like, you know, like just get rid of them. So all of the walls, like the paint that they paint this with fades really fast. But like basically, but no matter if they fade or not, as long as they're not like obstructed, the seer can always see through them. So like basically on all of the walls, there's like these faded seer sigils that she can actively see out of. And she can always see out of. She's just, you know, she's always watching. And that's like kind of a theme with her character. She's the, like the seer is the main villain in Moon of Ronos. She's like the big bad evil guy in Moon of Ronos. And yeah, she is, she's a freaky lady. She's, I'll show her design another time because for now I want to focus on like Unseen, and I don't ever show her in Unseen. She's never shown, she's never like specifically, like she's only ever heavily referenced or implied, because I want to build like, she's terrifying low key. Thank you, I'm happy you think so. Yeah, because like I don't know, I've been, to me there's more like interesting ways to make a villain like scary than like you know, like, oh, they kill people. You know, like Anta. Oh, I just said her name. Oh no. Anyways, you know what? You learn that like immediately right off the bat in the second season of my other animated project, Moon of Ronos. So her name is Seer Anta. She is. Oh man, I'm just giving away everything. That's fine. It's not like I'm giving away all the like story plot points and stuff. So Seer Anta, she is a you know, she's like the daughter of the main god that the people in Riverspeak worship, or at least that's thought to be true. It is, but it's, you know, it's debated every now and then. But in my opinion, there's a lot more terrifying things in life than just like, oh, I'm a murderer. You know, like that's, like, don't get me wrong, that's scary. That's scary for a villain to be a murderer and to be like killing people. That is scary. That is a scary, like, you know, that can be a scary way to make a villain. But the thing about like Anta is she's not even like actively trying to kill anybody. She's just always watching. No matter where you go, unless you're in the warehouse or the inn, you are not safe. She is watching you. She can see you always. And she can also feel that you're in the town. Like, she can feel how many people are inside the town at once. She can, so that's actually, it plays into a plot point in Moon of Ronos when, the main character of Moon of Ronos, Satori, gets washed into the city, and she feels Satori, like, enter the city. not of their own accord, but she feels like, oh, there's someone new here. That's weird. Anyways, something just happened. Like that's how she feels. Psychological horror for real. Yeah, exactly. Like and like I'm gonna keep her design. Like I'm not gonna overtly show it. But she is one of my favorite designs I've ever made. I made her actual like concrete design back in 2022, and I'm very proud of it. Of course, she's changed a bit since then, but she's always kept that same vibe that she had before. And one of the things that I'm gonna say is, like, I don't know. I think like Anta she's always there. She's always, like she's not haunting the narrative by any means, but she is like she can always see you. Specifically if you're in the city. If you're out of the city, you're safer. And she doesn't really. She's the daughter of a god. She doesn't really take time to actually care what people on the outside are doing. She's like, I'm like godly and shit. I don't give a fuck what mortals are doing. And that's just because she's like of godly status. Let's see. Does anybody? I'm actually going to open the floor. Does anybody have any questions regarding like Unseen or like the animated series I'm working on, like Unseen or like or Moon of Ronos? Primarily, like I'm going to ask for Unseen questions, just because that's the one that's in production currently. So, like here, I'll show the poster again. So, like if anybody has any questions about Unseen, feel free to ask, because like I am an open book. Obviously, I won't give away like crazy spoilers, but I will tell you guys like some lore if you guys want to know, because I have quite a lot of lore built for this series. Are there more gods other than the ones you have mentioned? Yes, I'm happy you asked. There are, Coffin. So the gods in Ornmos, there's a whole pantheon of them. And this pantheon I have developed for almost as long as I have the world itself, like Ornmos itself. And all of these gods, depending on who you talk to and what group of people you're speaking to, these gods have different depictions, they have different names, they have different meanings, because I think that's fun. I think that's fun if like people interpret things differently. I think that's cool. But there are the specific, like, what are thought to be, like, the true, like the most accurate to the gods. And that is, like, like, there's the most, like, there's a bunch of different branches of this pantheon. Rubs my hands like a fly. Yeah, exactly, right? And that's kind of the thing is, like, so all of these gods are essentially, like, all of the gods in Moon of Ronos and in Unseen, and technically in Kit's Delights, they are all in a giant pantheon that branches in several directions. And it branches per, like, what people you're speaking to. Like, for example, in the, in one specific human branch, there's a god known as, Yuba, and she is thought to be the, like, astral architect. That's her title. She's thought to be, like, the one who built the sky. Like, she built the sky, she built it, and she, like, she mapped it all out. But she has different names in other versions of the pantheon. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Like for example, the fire folk, or they have a specific name, but I won't go into it. There's a group of, like, people who are just, like, fire in Ornmos, and essentially this god, Yuba, her title is completely different. It has the same name, but her title is different. Her title is Celestial Chart, because she's thought as more of a concept. She's thought to just be more of a concept. She's thought to just be, like, a vague concept of, like, a chart mapping the stars. And let's see, I actually have a list of the gods, if you guys want to hear me read some of them, or, like, the godly characters, because there's technically, in the world of Ornmos, there are two, like, specific ways that you can be a god in, like, in like, an actual, like, full way. You can be a god, like, like by being like an actual like deity, or you can be a parasitic entity that comes off of like that is essentially born with one of the other gods. Here, let's see. I'm gonna get up the like the list because I have a master I have like a master sheet that I put all of this stuff on, just to like keep track of things. But Tell, okay, bet. So yeah, so here I am, Ornmos master sheet. So there's a couple gods, some I won't name for sake of not spoiling things. But there is give us that lore, om nom nom. Okay, bet. So yeah, so there's a couple gods in the world of Ornmos, which is the world of my animated series. I feel like I should like just say that a couple times just in case people are new or new people are coming into the stream. I'm streaming on both TikTok and Tumblr. What? TikTok and YouTube right now. So if there's new people coming into the stream, I just feel like saying this is all for my indie animated projects. So the gods in the world Ornmos, there's a couple. Let's see, what's one that's one of my favorites? Let's see, I do really like, there's a god called Iluatu. And Iluatu is essentially he's known as the hive god. It's known as the hive god. It doesn't really have a concrete, like, actual, like pronouns. A lot of the gods don't. There's just what people call them, like, colloquially. Because, the gods are, like, above gender and above, like, anything that us humans care about. Essentially, Iluatu is, like, chaos. The god of, like, he's not the god of chaos, but he's thought to be chaos embodied into, like, a metaphysical being. And essentially, like, I have concepts of him somewhere, but he is he commands, he like, the people who look up to him and, like, worship him are a species called the Reanimators. And the Reanimators live, like, in this giant underground area, like, underground temple, and they're just called Reanimators, and they are essentially how do I word this? They kill humans that they raise for reuse of their bodies and souls later. And that's why they're called Reanimators, because they literally, like, they have people, they raise people, and then they kill them, and then, like, raise their bodies again, and just send them to do other stuff. And that's where the blight comes from, is the blight is a reanimated human, specifically from the Reanimator, and you'll learn this in the series, but I feel like I might as well say it. The name of the Reanimator that reanimated Holom is Ulatos, and Ulatos is I'll show you his. Actually, I have him on my art fight, so I'll show you his art fight ref. Like, here, let's see. I should be in my screenshot somewhere. Because I literally have him on my art fight. Which, oh my god, I'm so mad that I didn't get to do more art fight, attacks. I took so long on, like, the first one, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna take a minute. Okay, so there is Satori and Sirius's art fight refs. I'm looking for Ulatos, bro. Where's Ulatos? Ulatos, yeah, I'm sure I took a screenshot of him. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, like, here, let me find Ulatos. Where, sir? If I can't find Ulatos, I'm gonna start throwing things. No, I'm kidding. Art fight is so hard to keep up with, to be fair. That's real. Like, a dead ass. Art fight is really hard to keep up with. And I was doing all animated attacks, so I was, like, consistently, like, I was in the fucking trenches. I wasn't even just in the trenches. I was in the fucking trenches, bro. Like, it was not fun. I mean, it was fun for a little while. It felt kind of, it felt at a certain point not fun. Let's see. So, Ulatos. Actually, you know what? Oh, I just saw it. I just saw him. I just saw him. Oh no. I fear I am dumb. That's fine. I'm just going to go to my art fight then. I need, and I have two-factor authentication on, so I'm just going to quickly tap into my phone so I can get that passcode. And I'm not going to say it out loud because I've done that on stream before and it was not good. Oops. But let's see. So, art fight. Oh, I'm already logged in. Okay, that makes my life a lot easier. Let's see. Let's view all. Okay, so Ulatos. Where's Ulatos? Okay, so here is Ulatos's. I'll just copy the image. Okay, so here is Ulatos's speedrunning carpal tunnel. Dead ass, dude. Straight up. My wrist hurts so bad during art fight. Oh my god. But yeah, here's Ulatos. He's absolutely giant. Like you can see, I made a little like size comparison for the main character of Moon of Ronos. But he's a freaky guy and he kills people, and that's not like his main mantra. He doesn't kill people and like to be edgy or anything. And obviously, if anybody has characters that kill to be edgy, that's cool. I'm fine with that. That's fine. This guy specifically kills because it's his job and he's like commissioned to usually. So like yeah, so this is Ulatos. Bro is disgusting. I hate him. I hate it. Technically its pronouns are its, but I call it him a lot of the time because I'm kind of stupid. But yeah, so there's Ulatos. He's got it's got like all like hands, no feet on this motherfucker. Because I think that's hilarious. I would shit my pants if I saw this guy. Oh my god, that's so fair. Like yeah, he's not exactly nice, but he's also not exactly mean. It's just kind of his job to kill people, and that's not exactly a fun job to have, but he likes it, I guess. Yeah, and here I'll show you on this design. On his design, these are his two real eyes, like the two that are open, and then these are false eyes. Like in the same vein as like moths, for example. Just because I think that's interesting. And Satori's so tiny next to him. They're just pixels. But yeah, essentially, he is like, this is the reason that the Blight exists in Unseen the way it does. So like, the Blight wouldn't exist in Unseen unless Ulatos had killed and reanimated him. And here I can show you guys the face of the Blight if you guys would like. It's kind of a reveal in show, but it's not really. I have his face pasted all over my like socials and stuff, or at least I used to. So it's not much of a surprise. Let's see. Where the hell? What is that? That's quadrupedal showcase. No, I'm looking for. But yeah, I've been I'm very passionate about this stuff. False eyes are so spooky. I love them. I agree. Like false eyes are one of my favorite things in nature. Like I find it just so interesting. Yeah, and like here, let's see. Where is the please? You know what? I don't have a picture of his face, but I do have a picture of his actual like design. When I like finished, I actually one of my friends helped me with this color palette. And that friend is Sora Zoro on or not Sora Zoro. What am I talking about? That's not their username. That's not even their name. What am I talking about? Give me a minute. That friend is Zoro the Bat on Instagram. That's what they go by. That friend is Zoro the Bat. And yeah, they're just they have a really cool fursuit, but that's off topic. But but they helped me like pick out the like the general like vibe and kind of the like the what am I saying? The color palette for this. Because despite having taken literal courses on character design, I still can't get color theory correct. Because it's hard. Color theory's hard. So yeah, so there's the blight. Let's see, where is... Hang on one second. Where's my... Okay, hang on. Where's my shit? Hang on. Give me a moment. I'm losing my marbles. What's Baggia? What is that? Baggia.png. It's just all like a dark PNG. It's all... Okay. Anyways, whatever that is, doesn't matter. Because I am trying to open something specific. Colors are so hard, especially when you have to use a ton of them on one guy. I agree, oh my god. Dead ass, dude. Like, oh my god. Like, I like to think that most of my character designs are pretty sound in terms of, like, you know, like, in terms of, like, colors and, like, design, but there's a couple times, PNG of darkness and mystery, dead ass, dude. Like, it's like, what is this? Why is this saved in my animated show files? Like, what does that mean? Let's see. That is... I should really reanimate that because... Just like, hello, no, I should really reanimate this because this is... very... What is the difference? Oh! What? No, I don't see the difference. I don't see the difference. Oh, one has a leg. One has a leg. Okay, I understand. Never mind. Sorry, that's for a different project completely. Oh my goodness. You know, if I actually took time to organize my files, I'd be dangerous, bro. I'd be dangerous. You'd be looking out for me on the street, bro. Like, okay. Let's see, where is... Does anybody else have any questions about, like, the animated series I'm producing? Honestly, even if, like, they don't have to be, like, lore-based questions. They can just, of course, they can just be, like, you know, like, oh, what the, I don't know. Questions, I don't know. Questions that aren't, like, crazy lore-heavy. Because I don't expect people to come up with, like, a lore-heavy question. You'd be unstoppable. Someone had to nerf you. Dead ass, dude. I had to be nerfed by God himself. But, like, let's see. So, turnarounds. I don't know where it is. You know, it'd be nice if I knew. Too bad I don't. Oh no. Who is your favorite character? Ooh, good question. Who's the favorite character from... I'm going to answer for specifically Unseen. My favorite character is probably either Rulin. No, it's... Yeah, it's Rulin. It's got to be Rulin. I love Rulin so much. He's just a little funky guy. He's just a little funky little dude. And he's just so dumb. And I love him. My partner kind of popped off with him. Like, I love him as a character. He's awesome. Like, he's one of my favorite of their characters. Right besides Nor. Nobody here knows who Nor is, but I will make it known. I love Nor. You'll meet him eventually, but oh my god, I love that man. Okay, so, and Mick, dude. Mick, bro. Okay. I'm just talking about how peak my partner's characters are at this point. But yeah, definitely Rulin. Rulin is, like, one of my all-time favorites. Now, who's your least favorite? Ooh, good question, actually. I'm gonna say... it has to be either Captain Blaine or Grit Gut. Because I don't like Grit Gut. Grit Gut's like an asshole. Like, I like his design, don't get me wrong. I think he's a sound character design, but he's such a dick. Like, he's such an asshole. And then like as far as like Captain Blaine goes, I think it's, you know, he's an asshole too. He's not a very nice guy. And he, you know, he's one of the main villains. Obviously, he's not very likable, but he's not even like a fun villain. He's just like mean. He's just like a mean man. Like, he's not like, you know, like a villain that'll like crack jokes with the protagonist. He's just like a mean dude. Like, he's just like full of like vitriol, and it's like you can tell that about him. And it's not very good. He's not a very good dude. And like, oh man, yeah, Blaine is definitely Blaine, actually, because Gritgut, at least I can tell myself, you know, Gritgut's only 17, he'll change. And no, he won't. He left a kid to die, but it's fine. It's fine. He can change. He can't. I don't think he can. But like, you know, it's definitely Blaine for me. Because Blaine is a complete asshole. I'd say Chancellor Latour, but that's also one of my partner's characters, and my partner makes absolutely peak characters. Like, oh my god. So, like, I can't even hate her, even though she's, like, very unlikable. I can't even hate her. She's just too good. She's too beautiful. Let's see. Does anybody have any other questions? Like, I'm here to answer questions all day, honestly. I could keep going for questions as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, if nobody has any questions, that is totally fine. But I just, you know, I do like answering questions. Let's see. So, hang on, what? Oh, it still has that gap. I think I fixed that in the version I have on my tablet. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's, what was that? Oh, okay. I got like jump scared for a minute there. But like, it's interesting because it's like, you know, there's, I don't know. I like to be able to make villains that are like as far as like it goes for me, I really like making villains that are like just like either really mean people and not redeemable, or, you know, and I do fancy myself a little bit of a redeemable, misunderstood villain every once in a while. But most of the time I just like making like really shitty people as villains, cuz I don't know, I think it's funny. I think it's more interesting if like it can be more interesting for the villain to have like an arc, but I really love it when the villain is just like stuck in their ways. Like, and I like it when I like, specifically what I try to do with a couple of my villain characters, particularly Blaine, is I have it set up so Blaine tries to be a better person and he just fails miserably, and then he just goes back like full fucking send into being like a shitty person. Like, he's just like, yeah, no, I tried, it doesn't work. And then he's like, I'm just going to be a complete asshole from now on. Because, you know, he's a dick. But that's okay. He's allowed to be a dick. He can be a dick as a treat. That's okay. But you know what I mean. Yeah. He is like, but like as far as like villains, and like, here, let me play this animation so there's something happening on screen while I'm talking. Like, as far as villains go, I think that there's really interesting ways that people can write them. Yes, I love failed redemption. Same. Like, oh my god. It's so compelling. I agree. Like, that's one of my favorites. Like, oh, dude. And like, I don't know. There's like one of my favorite types of like villains to write. I don't have too many villains in the world of Moon of Ronos, like in the world of Ornmos yet, but I do plan on making more. But like, you know, the main ones are just like, either they're really shitty people and they try to be better and they just can't, or they are like really, really shitty people. Like they're like the worst people ever. And I really like that. And like obviously, don't get me wrong, I do love a compelling like, you know, like a compelling like, you know, like redemption villain. And I do have a couple of those, but the main ones are just like, oh yeah, they're like they know what they're like they don't even sometimes they don't even know what they're doing is wrong. They're just like, yeah, you know, this is like, let's go. You know, it's this is what I do, I guess, you know. This is how it goes. And you know, it's like I like it. It's fun. It's fun to write villains that are a bit more than like, oh, I kill people. And like, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with villains that are just like, oh, I kill people and that's my whole thing. Like, I don't get me wrong. That is 100% still compelling, and it can still be compelling. It definitely depends on how you write it. But one of the things that like one of the things that I always kind of think of is like, I don't know. I find it more interesting when I find it more interesting to have a bunch of different types of villains and a bunch of different types of people, because in reality, like bad people, they're not just bad people. They're also like, they're fully faceted humans, but they're also somehow still awful people. Like you can be a fully faceted human and also still suck. You can be, like you can be a fully faceted person with like likes and dislikes and things you like to do and things you like to watch. And, like you can be a fully faceted human being and also suck. Like that's, and I think that's fun to explore in, like in a story setting. Especially because one of my favorite types of villains to write is just like, tries to be better, but can't, fails, and just is like, and instead of taking that failure, and like, here's the difference, instead of taking that failure as like I needed to be better, they don't take that failure like that. The villain just instead takes that failure as like, oh, well, I can't be good, so I'm just gonna full send. There's so many full people IRL that suck, so yeah, exactly, right? Like, you can be like, I don't know, and like, don't get me wrong, I think there are interesting villains who are like, oh, I kill people, and like that's like my whole thing, and I don't have any personality. Like, that's fine. I do have a bit more problem when people don't give their villains like a discernible personality, but I do find there is interesting ways to execute like the whole like, oh, I'm killing everybody, whatever, like I do find there's interesting ways to execute that. However, one of my big things is there are more interesting ways to make a character scary. There are more interesting ways to make a reader hate a character. There are more interesting ways to actually like, make the character like deplorable as far as morals go. You don't just like shoot directly for killing people when, there's other deplorable things that people can do. And like, I think that that's kind of underutilized, especially by like, okay, this might be a controversial opinion. Has anybody, obviously, I was going to ask, has anybody here seen or heard of Hazbin Hotel? Of course you guys have. Oh my God. So, Vox, like as a villain, he was intriguing to me at first. Because I've never seen like, I wanted to see like where they'd go with like a TV man that wants like all the attention in hell. I thought that would be interesting. And then spoilers for the second season. Yeah, spoilers for the second season incoming. So I understand if you don't want to watch, that's totally fine. But they reveal in one of the episodes of season 2 that he had a cult, and I'm like, okay, what does that entail? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that like it could have been like it wouldn't have been interesting. It always wouldn't have been interesting, but I think they could have gone about it in a far more interesting way than they did. Because at the end they were just like, oh yeah, he kills people and that's what he does. That's his whole villain thing. He kills people to get to the top. And it's like, okay. And like, far be it from me to talk about other people's writing. I just personally think it would have been more interesting. This is like, okay. For Hazbin Hotel, I think it would be so interesting if Vox used to be a televangelist. And people are gonna say like, but Sal, like televangelists, they're speaking the word of God. Like they're trying to speak the word of God. They wouldn't go to hell. Yes, they fucking would. Televangelists are like some of the worst people that you know. Like think like Pastor Kenneth Copeland. Like that guy is literally insane. He tries to preach like the word of like, oh, the good Christian Bible or whatever, but he ends up being like a complete insane man. And I think that is interesting. I think that could have been an interesting route for Vox as a character. I think they could have made him a televangelist that got super corrupt and was just like taking donations from people who needed the money, from people who were, who couldn't afford it, or like, and he just spent money on these frivolous things. I feel like they could have pushed a bit further with his character and gotten more out of it. Like the televangelist idea is so good, right? And like that's the thing, is like I feel like it would also give him a reason to feel like for him to feel like cheated, that he's in hell now. Like it would give him a reason to want to go to heaven, and like rule heaven. Because, if it's one thing for him to have a cult where he kills people. It's another thing for him to have amassed a cult similar to, like Kenneth Copeland's like mega churches, or, like a similar to like even like the Jehovah's Witness watchtowers. Some of them, like it would have been more interesting, in my opinion, if they went that route and made him like, oh yeah, he's using the word of God to like tell people like, oh yeah, you cannot do, like you suck, and like you should give me all your money, and I'm like the speaker of God, and like you should listen to me. And that would, in my opinion, give him more reason to want to go up and rule heaven in the way that he did in season 2. Like that is, in my opinion, that would make more sense, and it would be a lot more interesting. Like when I heard I heard him say to Val, I think it was to Valentino, he said it, where Valentino's, oh, the cult. And then he's like, yeah, the cult. And like that moment in the series, that could have been a real turning point for Vox as a character, because it could have shown him as like, not just like a generic, like, oh, I kill people, but I'm like, I regret it sometimes, like villain. He could have been something that is like actually genuinely like a real thing that is evil and a bit more creative and a bit more out there than just like, oh yeah, he's a mass murderer. Because when they say cult, I don't think of mass murderers when I think of cults. I think of like televangelists. I think of like Heaven's Gate. I think of like, like Jonestown. And yes, the Jonestown massacre was a giant, like, awful thing. And yes, people did die. A lot of people did die. But I wouldn't say it's like, yeah, they're all mass murderers. I wouldn't say that. It's a cult. That is like a grand majority of what happens in cults is thought of to be like there's a lot of death in cults. There's a lot of blood oaths in cults. There's a lot of like in real cults. And I always love drawing from real life for my stories and for like other stories in general. And I just think that it's such a missed opportunity to not make like Vox the in-world Kenneth Copeland. If they made him the in-world Kenneth Copeland and he went to hell for like being like, like, you made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it. It's like, that is perfect, because Vox cares a lot about status in the show, and that is shown. And if they just made him like literally a televangelist that died and went to hell because he's a televangelist, and televangelists are bad people usually, that would have been amazing. That would have been so interesting. Also, this is a whole other thing. I'm not going to throw stones in a glass house. Like I'm making an animated series. I don't want to throw stones in a glass house, But I am going to say, don't even get me started on the fact that Valentino as a character, he could have been such a more interesting character if they just made him not a fucking like predator. If they had made him not a predator, he could have been interesting. And if they wanted to go predator, he could have been interesting too. If they wanted to keep the predator aspect of him, that could have been interesting. Fine. Fucking keep it. I don't give a fuck. People want to be represented for what they go through. That is fine. But like, they try to make like Val seem like the funny one of the V's. And it's like, okay, I don't understand how he's the funny one when he's also like a literal like predator. That's not okay. Like, don't get me wrong, people are full faceted and they can be different and they can, but in my opinion, don't try to make me laugh at what this fucking weirdo says when he like consistently hurts people around him in such a fucked up way too. Like, that is literally, oh, it grinds my gears because like he could have been such an interesting character if they had just gone a different route with him. If they had just gone the route of he's not a fucking predator, or if they wanted to go that route, there were other ways to make him an interesting, captivating character than just being like, oh yeah, he makes like sex jokes all the time. It's like, no, he is a predator. Valentino is a predator. They definitely downplayed his grossness using humor, and it made me so uncomfy. If they wanted to go predator but no comic relief, I feel like he would have been so much better. I agree. Because the thing with Valentino and Hazbin Hotel is there are like two sides, and Viv wants both. And the writers, and because I know Viv has a team of writers, Viv and the writers want both of these sides to be true at once. They want to have, he's a funny dude, he's kind of funny, and like, it's like, he's kind of funny and like kind of like personable, but they also want him to be a predator. And it's like, okay, you have to pick. There are other ways to make him like captivating as a character while he is a bad person. But if he's going to be a funny, like, comic relief character, you cannot give him such a fucked up thing he did. Like, that is fucked. That is so fucked. Oh my god. Like, if anyone would be the funny one in that group, it's Velvet. She is the social media person. She would know how to make people laugh and keep attention, even if it clashes with her personality a bit. I agree. And that's another thing that I think they really, like, okay. I don't want to throw stones in a glass house. But I just, in my opinion, the writers of Hazbin Hotel handled a lot of the characters, especially in the second season, really poorly. Like Velvet, in my opinion, she could have been something so interesting because she's, people don't talk enough about how for example, I think one of my main, if I was making Velvet as a character, one of my main inspirations would be, what's her name? Haley Bailey or whatever, like the girl who made that let them eat cake, tone deaf ass Met Gala thing. Well, there's people actually literally dying and starving, and she's she's dressed up to the nines, and she's like let them eat cake, and it's like, okay, you're tone deaf. That would be what I would personally draw from for someone like Velvet, and obviously I'm not writing Velvet. She's not my character. I don't really care how she's written, but I do care to a certain extent when people are taking characters and being like, okay, well, this is, there's, we have to when specifically when authors and writers and animators spoon feed you information that should be just apparent, not apparent as in oh, it's being directly shown to you. Look at this. No, it should be inferred, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. And in my opinion, that's something that Vivzie Pop's writer's room struggles with a lot, is kind of spoon feeding people information, which is fine. I understand it. And it can work. I'm not saying it can't work, but, it's just interesting because it's sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. And, there should be more interesting ways to write a character. I think they were too eager to put it out and didn't map out everything properly. It's really disappointing, but understandable, because they didn't know for sure how many seasons they'd get. Totally, right? And it's understandable. 100%. It is 100% understandable. I just wish that, I don't know. And, that's the thing is, okay, I'm not that I'm saying I could ever get here. I could ever get to, this point. But if I was in Vivzie's position, where I made a show and it got so successful in the pilot that it was Amazon and Jeff Bezos and A24, the same people who made Pearl, wanted to pick it up and help me make it. Okay, I'd say no. I don't personally I'd say no, just because I don't care how much money they'd offer me. I want it to be true to my vision. And the moment you start messing with the moment you start messing with the moment you have a team of writers, you have a team of animators, and and obviously this isn't to say you shouldn't have these things. Sometimes things turn out really well, but I would really want it to be to my vision. If I had a show that got picked up by some big, obviously I'm not saying I could ever get there, but I'm just saying if that were the case. would personally not take that offer because on like things like Amazon, like streaming services specifically, you don't know how long you're going to get out of your episode. You don't know how many episodes you're going to get. You don't know how long you're going to have them, like how long you're going to be allowed to make them. You don't know, like the cast might be already have been decided. Like I would prefer to just do it on my own because self-direction, at least for me, self-direction has worked so much better than like working for like a bigger company that, you know, like obviously I haven't worked for any big companies, but I have done like, you know, like like group projects and stuff where everyone is kind of putting their 2 cents in, and it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that can't work. I'm just saying that it wouldn't work for me, and I wouldn't give up. Like for example, one of the main shows I want to make is called Moon of Ronos. I've told everybody that. Greetings, mortal. Hello, Nullified 56. Welcome to the stream. So like, you know, it's I would not take the deal to have my show picked up by a big company like Amazon or like A24. Mainly because of the episode thing. Like that is my main issue. Is you know, like in a self-directed production, if I have all the resources, I can decide how long the episodes are, how many episodes there's going to be, and you know how, like, I can decide all of these things. And that is good in my opinion. Salem just said, these problems is why stuff like Glitch and Pretty Please I Don't Want to Be a Magic Girl give me so much hope. Exactly. I agree. Oh my god. Exactly. And like that's the thing is like, you know, with like I, you know, I have a friend. I'm not going to give any details, but this friend is one of my like best friends. And they have a series they're working on. And for and you know, they were like, and I've seen a lot of young writers do this. This isn't just my friend. I've seen a lot of like young writers and like, you know, or people that are like just new to like the world of production, be like, oh, well, my show's going to be like the next like Has-Been Hotel, or my show's going to be the next like, you know, like Amazing Digital Circus. And it's like, okay, kill that. I hate to say it, but kill that expectation. Don't kill the hope, but kill the expectation. You should not be expecting to have like literal you know, like because the pilot of Amazing Digital Circus alone pulled in like 400 million views. Like that is not attainable if you're just deciding to make a show to be like that. Like you have to actually build out the world. You have to, you know, but that's a different topic. But what I want to talk about is the fact that, like, you know, don't get so hung up. Like, to anybody who's watching this, don't get so hung up if you want to make something. Don't get so hung up on just having like another company or a big like company that you look up to or a big person that you look up to produce it. Don't get hung up on that because it might not happen. And I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it might not, and that's okay. And like, you know, like for example, I know my shows are not very likely to get picked up by, you know, like you know, to get picked up, like, even by Glitch. I don't have enough of a presence for that. I haven't worked in the industry, and, you know, I haven't worked professionally in the industry, and I wouldn't be I wouldn't be a person that Glitch would go to and be like, hey, you want to make a show? Because I literally have no experience being a showrunner. So to anybody who's watching this, like, to anybody who's watching this, just know that, like, if you have a vision for what you're making, try to make it if you have the resources. Don't get so hung up on making it with other people or with help, or just try and make something, because that's how you're going to get farther. That's how you're going to like I've been talking about this for years. I've been talking about this for a long time, but I am so passionate about proof of concepts. Proofs of concept are so important in the world of production. Like for example, you know, like a good example would be, let me introduce myself. I am Null, who's a fifth dimensioner who lives eternally in a floating broken house. Well, hello, Null. Welcome. And Vac Animates said, whenever I make my shows, I just want a small community who I can share my characters with. I wouldn't mind having a large community, but I think having a large community would stress me out. I agree. And that's kind of the thing, is like, you know, it's, that you can hope for a large community. You can hope for success, but that should not be what you're shooting for and what you're expecting. Because if you expect to have like thousands upon like literally millions of views on your pilot episode, a good chunk of the time, unless you have connections or unless you've done the networking like prior, it's just unattainable. It's just not attainable. And you know, you could get lucky, but that's just it. It's getting lucky. And you know, it frustrates me because sometimes I feel like people, specifically like a lot of younger people, and not even younger, but you know, like newer people to the world of production, to the world of animation particularly, they come up with ideas because they're like, I want to be like Dana Terrace, or I want to be like, you know, like, or I want to be like Gooseworks, or I want to be like, large communities are terrifying. I can't imagine how they'd mischaracterize my babies. That's so real. But like, you know, like one of the things is like, you know, if you are making a if it, like when people new to the world of production are just like, I'm gonna make a show and I'm gonna be the next Dana Terrace, I'm gonna be the next like, you know, Gooseworks, I'm gonna be the next like I can't remember, Luke, the name of the creator of Murder Drones, like they're like, I'm gonna be like the next one of those guys. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't or that you shouldn't like take it into account that you could be. But don't have expectations. Don't have expectations, because if you have expectations, you might be disappointed, and that would suck. Like, you know, like that is, I want people to enjoy my characters and work and make theories on it and love it just as much as I do. I've spent a lot of time keeping my characters as such to myself, but I want to share them. And that's fair, Vac. That is a fair way to feel. I want to talk about them with others. I agree. And like, and that's the thing is like, you know, making the pilot for Unseen, I am not expecting like a big hoorah. Like, you know, I heavily despise AI because of the off animations, disturbing imagery, like mixing crowds into mush. I agree. I hate AI. Oh my god. And like, okay, but like on the topic of like, you know, like making your own series, if you have a series and you just, okay, this is the big thing. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. If you have a series that you genuinely want to make, and you've world built it, and you've like made a giant like you know you've worked on it for a while, you've built out the concept, you've practiced working on it, you know, that is one thing. Don't just make a series because you want fame, because again, it's not guaranteed. It's never guaranteed. Like, don't just make a series because you want to be the next Dana Terrace. Dana Terrace is literally Dana Terrace worked in the industry. She worked for, like, they worked for goddamn Disney, bro. They worked for Disney. Dana Terrace worked for Disney. Why is that, like, you know, and that is something that a lot of people don't understand how hard it is to get into that circle and actually be a showrunner at Disney. You need to have connections. You need to do your networking. You need to actually have friends in the circle. You need to know what you're doing. And you have to be working in the industry for a long time. And like even people like Gooseworks, who like Glitch came to and was like, hey, do you want to make a show? And, you know, Goose obviously said yes, because, you know, Amazing Digital Circus exists. But Goose was also friends with a couple of people at Glitch, or at least to my knowledge. And not just that, but Goose had also made specific like music for like Hazbin Hotel. You know, Gooseworks had worked on music for Hazbin Hotel, for Helluva. You know, like Gooseworks had worked in the industry before. And that's the thing, is like Glitch specifically is looking for people with industry experience. And that is fine. But don't like build your expectations on that. Vac Animate said, if I had a large community, they would be super critical to the point of unreason, expect me to be perfect and basically be their creative slave machine. I would lose the joy of sharing my characters. I agree, honestly. And, you know, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy, you know, like, having a bigger community for my characters and for my world. Like, I have spent a long time on it. But it's definitely not something that I'm, like, specifically aiming for. Because why would it be? Why would it be? I don't want specifically like thousands upon thousands of people to like, you know, like be like, oh, you're so good. Or like, I don't care. I just want to share my stuff and be like, hey, this is what I made. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, that's fine. I don't care. Like, that's kind of the thing, is like, I don't know. But, you know, I have like a couple, like I've met a couple people who are like so hung up You got to know a guy to get anywhere with big studios. Exactly. You got to know a guy. You got to have worked in the industry before. You got to have connections, and that is okay. But the average kid on TikTok wanting to make a YouTube or wanting to make an animated YouTube series does not have connections, and that is fine. But like, I don't know. It's just specifically, and I'm not saying this to be like, oh, don't make your thing. Make your thing. Make your show. Make your book. Make your like audio drama. Make your comic or whatever. Make whatever you want to make. But don't get hung up on people. Don't get hung up on two main things that I like. These are two main things I try not to get hung up on whenever I'm in like whenever I'm talking about like my series or something. I try not to get hung up on the amount of views, the amount of views and likes, and also the amount of like, how do I word it? Like the amount of views and likes. And the second thing I try not to get hung up on is like making it like this, like I don't know, making it with someone else, making it not alone, making it with a big studio, or like any studio really. I don't think that that's attainable for me right now. I've never worked in the industry. I've taken commissions, but I've never worked in the industry. And that is taking commissions on TikTok and working in the industry are two very different things, unfortunately. Like, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that I am really passionate about regarding, like, I'm very passionate about, like, how many people, like, I love the idea of a world where everyone has an indie story to tell. I'm back. Hello, Null. Welcome back. But, like, and that's kind of the thing is, like, if you want to tell your story, tell it. Don't be scared to. Don't be scared. Don't, like, worry too much about the fact that it's not going to be, like, something I worried a lot about. Like, here, I'll show you guys something. I actually had a Moon of Ronos as a series before I had decided to turn it into an animated show was actually running on Webtoon. And it wasn't until about, I want to say July of 2025. And don't get me wrong, Webtoon can work great for some people. It personally did not work well for me. I was very behind on everything. I could not keep up with the workload. And I couldn't justify keeping myself on that track. Especially because I kept redrawing the episodes. And here's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing is I kept redrawing the episodes and I kept redrawing the episodes. I kept like going back, restarting the series because I would be like, well, I'm just going to redraw everything again. And it's like, okay, you can only do that so many times before people start to be wary of what you make. Like for example, there are people who are like wary of certain creators because they don't really have follow through on things, and that is normal. That is fine. But like here, I'll show you the example of the first episode of Moon of Ronos that is currently up on Webtoon that you can go see. I'm leaving it up on Webtoon. I'm not taking it down. I'm just like, it's a relic, and maybe I'll one day start it up again, but for now it's not in the cards for me, and that's okay. And that's another thing is like, maybe, and what's weird is like, I don't know. It's funny to think about how having a comic isn't in the cards for me, but having an animated show is. I love animation so much more than just like static drawing. Like just for me personally, I love it so much more. Of course, there are perks of a large community. This is something Vax said, like an infinite amount of theories and fan art, but there'd be the possibility of being paid too. But even if I was paid, I would still need another job. But for the most part, and a large community would hurt me more than a small one. I agree. And like that's the thing is like, I have been like here. Let me bring it up on my stream. So this is obviously not the whole thing, but this is one of the shots. Here, let me get a shot of Satori's face, because I think that's, like, gonna be the one that's, like, whoa. So, it was running as a comic on Webtoon, and I kept up with that for not very well, but I will say I did try to keep up with it. The thing that really, like, kind of was frustrating was the fact that I felt like I was
Like when I was making Moon of Ronos, I felt like I was improving faster than I could like keep up with, you know, like because it was at a very specific time in my like art journey where I was like I reached that, like, you know, I was past the plateau and I started going up again, you know, like I started like skyrocketing again, like I started fucking like, you know, like I just started like moving. I just stopped plateauing and then I started going up. That's the thing, is like, you know, and I think that that is something to keep in mind. And here, let me bring this on stream. And like, that's something to keep in mind, is that you will, even if you haven't yet, you will reach that point where you're like consistently improving. And that's kind of the thing, is like, you know, like, here, let me create new from clipboard. So this is a drawing. This is two of the panels actually from the webtoon release of Moon of Ronos. At this point in time that this episode was released, I had already restarted the series 3 times because I felt like my art was consistently improving and I was constantly changing things about the story, and then I would go back and I'd be like, I'm not happy with this anymore, I'm gonna restart it. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but understand that people are going to be wary of your work because you lack follow through. You lack follow through with the story, and that's okay. I lacked follow through. Like, you lacked follow through with the story. You lacked, like, you know, like you didn't get anywhere with the story. It was only ever the same 5 episodes. Like, for me, it was only the same 5 episodes I would release, and then I'd take them all down, release them again, and like, and you know, I understand why people were wary of my comic because of that. And maybe they weren't, but in my opinion, they could have been. And they should have been, and that is fair. And, you know, that's not something for me to be ashamed of. That is just something for me to be like, okay, yeah, I definitely fucked up there. I will get better at this. And, you know, like, one of the things that's really important to me in creativity is, like, if you think you're improving at a faster rate than you can even like keep up with, just keep going. Just keep going. Don't like take time. Don't be like me where you're like, oh, I could draw this way better though. And then, you know, don't like, and then you'd redraw everything you have available and you take it all down to do it. Obviously, touch-ups are fine. But complete revamps there's only a certain number of time, in my opinion, that you can get away with that. And I'm in the Webtoon creators Discord server, for Webtoon Canvas creators. I obviously have not been active in a while because I haven't updated my comic in a while. But I am in the Discord server, and somebody, I can't remember who, but somebody said, somebody in the Webtoon Discord server told me, like, okay, and it wasn't even speaking to me, it was speaking to somebody else, and like this, because there was a person who was debating redrawing the available episodes, and it's like, okay, fair enough, if you feel you've improved, fair enough. But then this person brought up a great point. They're like, well, you know, readers usually avoid series that restart a bunch because that shows that you are inconsistent. And, like, not inconsistent in, like, a bad way, but inconsistent in, like, oh, yeah, this story has changed a lot, and I have to, like, update it now. And it's fine if your story does change a lot, but maybe give it some time to cook, you know? Like I was 15. I was 15 when I first started working on Moon of Ronos. Yeah, I would have been 15 in March of 2019. And it was, you know, it was a lot. It was good, but I you know, the best thing I think I could have done before I got caught up in like the like lights and like the glam of it all, of like releasing a story on Webtoon and getting like a little bit of like, you know, like a little bit of attention, before that, I actually took time and I was like, okay, my art is not where I want it to be. I'm going to give it a minute. I'm going to give myself a few months and see if I like my art more by then. And surprise, surprise, I did. And that's like, I don't know, it's just so important that, you know, you give yourself a minute, you give yourself time. And like, you know, if you're not ready for something, you're not ready for it. And that's okay. That's not to say you'll never be ready for it, but that just means you're not ready right now. You have to give yourself a minute. And that's okay. Also, hello, Deadmancer. Thank you for liking the live. Also, Vac Animates said, I had a webtoon for a while. I wasn't popular at all,
but it wasn't popular at all. I found out pretty soon after that I didn't like drawing webtoons. I enjoyed expressing the story, but I couldn't do the webtoon. The webtoon is still up on Canvas. I love it dearly, and I'm so glad I did it, but at the time I just couldn't do it. I burnt out so quick, and I didn't really even enjoy making the panels. That is so real. That is so real, dude. Like, dead ass. Like one of the things about, like I have, like I don't know, I was trying to keep up with Webtoon, and I was also trying to, and I don't know, I didn't even have that many other commitments in my life. I just was bad at keeping up with Webtoon because it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't like I love comics, don't get me wrong, but they're not my favorite form of expressing stories for myself. At least for my stories, I prefer things like animation. And I don't know, it's something that I think people should take into account is like, okay, if you're going to, and I know it seems unattainable to make like a whole like animated show, but if you're not having fun making a webtoon, maybe that is more attainable than making a webtoon. Because if you're not having fun and you can't keep up with the workload of webtoon, maybe the actual like solution isn't to just give up on the story altogether, but to have it written in a different medium. And whatever that looks like, but animation I'll just do for fun one day. I love it. I think I can do an animation over a webtoon. I agree, and that's the thing. That's what I'm saying is like, you know, if you have a story and you are making it in one specific medium, and you're like, okay, I see this as like, and like specifically with visual mediums, like, you know, like comics and animation and illustrations, and like, okay, one of the big things for me is if I'm not having fun, I'm like, because I'm ADHD, like I have ADHD. I've been diagnosed since I want to say 11. And I also am autistic. And because of that, and also because I'm just, I was not very good at keeping up with my schoolwork when I was in primary school, because it was all things I didn't want to learn about, because it was all like math and stuff. And I was like, I hate this. But I sucked at keeping up with the workload. I really did. And so when I realized a couple months ago that like I hated keeping up with the Moon of Ronos webtoon, I was like, there has to be a better way for me to do it than this. Like, there has to be a better way for me to do it. Yeah, I'm sure it'll take longer, or it might be different, but there's got to be a better way for me to take into account the things that I want to do more. And like, that's my advice. Like, obviously nobody's asking for my advice, but I just think that it's super important that if you're making a story and you think that like okay, I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh, it's unattainable for me to make it's unattainable for me to make an animated show, so I don't. Off topic, but holy shit, Amix looks amazing in your style. Thank you so much. I'm happy you think so. Yeah, so what was I saying? Right. But like, there are some things that you can, what am I saying? Hang on. But, yeah, so what I was saying was there are a lot of things that, like, if you think it's unattainable for you to make a show, like to make an animated show, for example, and I understand why people think that is unattainable for them. Like, a lot of people might not know how to animate, and to that, honestly, I say, like, if you're interested in animating, learn. And I know that sounds like ass backwards, like, well, yeah, if I learn, and it's like, yeah, I can learn animation, but it's going to take a long time before I can make my show. But that's the thing, is if you're learning it, you're actively making progress towards that goal. Whereas if you're not learning animation and you don't like make any progress, you're just thinking about making progress. And the human brain does a weird thing where it's like, sometimes when we think about like making progress, we get like the dopamine that we would get from completing a task. That's an actual thing. And like, it's a thing. It's an actual like thing in human brains, that when we tell ourselves or like say out loud that, oh, I'm gonna do this, it is one thing to do that, and it gives us dopamine, and sometimes it gives us so much dopamine that we feel like we've already completed the task. And obviously that's not the true for everyone, but that is true for a good majority of people. And I think that if you want to make like an animated show, start learning how to animate today. Like, just start it. Start doing it. That's all you can do. That's all you can do is just start animating. And yeah, is it going to look that good at first? Is it going to look exactly how you want at first? No. No, it's not going to look exactly how you want it to at first. But that's the part of animation that is so wonderful to watch, for me at least. I love watching animators grow, and I love watching animators learn what works for them and what doesn't. And I'm personally, I will always take someone who is like, okay, maybe I can't make this right now, but I can make it later. And they're working towards that goal. I will always take someone like that over someone who is like, over somebody who just sits and thinks about what they want to make. And I understand sitting and thinking about what you want to make. That is understandable. Vac Animate said, someone knocked on my door and asked me today, like actually they did. I live in a dorm, so it's not too crazy, how I learned how to draw. Just randomly. I didn't know what to tell them. Yeah, exactly. And like, that's the thing is like, it's like, and that's the thing is like, to learn, you have to start. You can't start, you can't like just sit and wait and hope that one day the skill will come to you. Because it won't. That's the thing about these things. They're skills. They're, like these things, they're like for example, like drawing, painting, even like anything really, like making music, dancing, like anything that humans do is a skill. And you don't learn skills if you don't try them first. And you know what? You're probably going to churn out things that you hate. And that is okay. That is okay. Don't let that discourage you. If you want to make an animated show, and I'm telling everybody this right now, I don't know how many people are watching, but I'm telling everybody this right now. If you want to make an animated show, start learning to animate if you don't know how already. And if you do, go for it. I have so many important resources I can share for creators of indie shows. Like I'm not particularly financially well off, and I'm also not I don't have any connections in the industry. I am a kid from Southern Alberta. I am a random adult from Southern Alberta. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more specifics on where I live, but I am from Southern Alberta in Canada. And obviously that's I'm just a random dude. I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a random guy. And I'm telling you, even if you feel like you're just somebody random, if you have a story to tell, try to tell it in whatever way it seems attainable for you. And even if it doesn't seem attainable, start learning to make it attainable. I don't know. I see so many people be so I feel like so many people today, especially in today's day and age, not to get all oh, kids these days, but I feel like there is a lot of shame on the internet now. There's a lot of shame culture on the internet. Cringe compilations of animators and animation cringe compilations and gotcha cringe compilations and what have you, just cringe compilations in general, where people feel comfortable shaming other people. People feel comfortable shaming other people for starting or for being interested in something. And dude, when I was a kid, and when I was 6 in fucking 2009, okay, I was on YouTube watching Warrior Cats, MS Paint, fucking animated music videos, and that was my shit, bro. That was my fucking shit, bro. I hate those cringe compilations so much. Same. And Vac Animate said, but I did tell them where they could start. I recommended one of our drawing and design courses. I told them something that helped me were YouTube tutorials, but ultimately they just have to try. Exactly. And that's the thing is it's just, I don't know. You just have to start. And I know it feels unattainable. It can feel unattainable, and that is okay. But if you're feeling like this is an unattainable thing for you, start learning. And if you really want to do it, if that's what you want to do with your life, say you want to be a comic writer, you want to be a writer of comics, you want to write shows and you want to write shows and you want to do everything, you want to do so much. You can. I am telling you, you can. Us, people like me had Warrior Cats, MS Paint, and a dream.
Okay, that's where I started as an animator. I didn't technically. I say I started animating in 2017. It was actually in 2009, when I was about 6-ish. But I hated it so much that I didn't do it again. But I was about 6 and I picked up MS Paint and I was like, oh, I'm gonna draw what is the oh god, I was so into these books. I'm gonna draw like Firestar, like being like super cool, and then and I had MS Paint, a Warrior Cats book, and a dream, bro. That is what you need. You need a dream. You need something that you're gonna make, and you need something to make it with. That's all you need, dead ass. All you need is a program, or hell, you don't even need a program to make animation, in my opinion. People make practical animation all the time. There are people who do like paper animations. There are people who do flip books. There are people who do like claymation, for example, is one of the best examples. It's Back Animate said it's their journey, not mine, which is why I couldn't tell them how to get started, because their start is different from mine. Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, dude, those cringe compilations are awful. I agree. And I feel like there's so much more hate and like negativity and like shame on the internet that people are just ashamed to like even try to do something. And it's like, dude, you're not going to get better unless you try. You know that, right? Like, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not just going to spawn in with so many skills it's unreal. That's not how it works. Unfortunately, like, if I could choose the skills that I would be, if I could be like a sim, if life was like playing The Sims and I could just choose my skills before I spawned in, that would be sick. But I can't. I had to grow all of my animation and all of my skills from the ground up. My parents always tell me this story. I started drawing when I was about 4 or 5, and I had a little like shitty crayon, and I drew a like little a little like oval, and I gave it legs, and I called it a horse. And from then on, I was hooked. I was like, this is the shit. I can make things that are in my brain, bro. And I was hooked. But some people don't get started on art early in life. Some people wait until they're later in life. And some people don't even realize that they're interested in art until later in life. And it shouldn't be such a big issue that like, oh yeah, this guy can't draw as well as this guy. It's like, that shouldn't be such an issue, because it ultimately doesn't matter. Vac Animate said, I want to get into voice acting a bit, but at the moment I want to focus on my animation. One day when I'm ready, I think I'll try it out. I think it will be fun. I think so too, Vac. I think that's awesome. And I feel like I don't know. I don't want to preach at everybody, but I want people to know, like, if you want to make something, the world is your oyster if you have the resources to make it. Like, if you have what you can to make it, and sometimes that can just be MS Paint. I know people are like, they view MS Paint as like not, as like a really like weird animation program to use. It's not technically an animation program, but you can make it work. I believe in you. If you have nothing, if you have MS Paint, if you have paper, you can do it. I believe in you. And don't listen to anybody who's like, oh, well, this is better. It's like, yeah, because it's like, and it's like, also, even if it is better, 1, it's because that thing has like usually a lot of production value behind it. 2, there's usually money behind things that are good. Like for example, I'm gonna get into like I'm gonna say a little bit about, like, I'm not gonna get into specifics, but I am going to say something about my finances. I pay around $85 a month to keep up with all of my subscriptions that I need to make Unseen. I pay about $85 a month. And that is relatively, considering all things, like considering everything, that's pretty low in my opinion. Like, that's like, especially considering the price of most Adobe programs, and I have Adobe After Effects. Well, luckily I got it during a like promotional time where it was like, oh, it's like $30 a pop, come on. And I'm like, okay, perfect, I'll take it. But like that's the thing, is like, you shouldn't rely on these big, like, oh my god, dude, like, are we dead ass? Like, straight up, one of my favorite things to ever see, like, to ever watch, was this one, like, MS Paint Warrior Cats, like, with like a water, like what? It's like these Warrior Cats, like AMVs that were made entirely in MS Paint or entirely using like Paint Tool Sai. And obviously that's not me dissing Paint Tool Sai or Fire Alpaca or anything. I'm just saying you can start with programs that are not the industry standard, quote unquote, and make industry cool shit. Even if it's not industry cool, it's fucking cool anyways. Fuck what other people say. You're doing your shit, and that's awesome. And that should be celebrated. And I think the amount of shame on the internet that people feel now is really, really frustrating. Because there is so much that you can do to have your art out there. You can do so much. You can do so much with art. And you can, and like, I agree with Salem. Salem just said in my YouTube chat, art is more accessible now than it has ever been. I use my phone, a free app, and my finger. There are so many resources to start anytime. Exactly. And that's the thing is like, but then people on the internet get all like weird and like they shame people who have just started. And it's like, okay, why are we shaming people? Why are we shaming people who have just started? That's not productive. Like if you're an artist, if you're dead ass, if you're an artist and you think you're so much and you think you're so much better than other people that you like openly like shame them for not being as good in quotations as you, get a life. Like that is such an unproductive thing to do. You could be spending so much more time being productive, doing your own thing, and uplifting those who are where you started. That is like I didn't come out I wasn't born with the animation skills I have. Do you think James, not to compare this isn't to compare myself with James Baxter. This is just an example. Do you think James fucking Baxter came out of his mom, like was born and was just like, oh dude, like I'm making like the sickest animations immediately? Like, no, that's not how that works. Like nobody comes out of the fucking pussy drawing like beautiful shit. That's not how that works. You were born, you're born into this world, you just got here. You don't know what's going on. You just got here. You're playing with some crayons in fucking preschool. I don't know. And then you draw like a little house with like a little person in it. And you're like, oh, I love this. And sometimes people even start later in life, and that's okay too. Like, for example, like I have a friend who started drawing at 16, and their art gets clowned on a lot on the internet. And it's like, guys, why are we clowning on people that are where we used to be? Like, regardless of their age. Oh, they're 16, they should be better than this. It's like, it doesn't matter, because if they're 16 and they just started, it makes sense why they're not ahead, you know? That's fine. That should be fine. And like, Fac Animate said, dude, I used to draw on old envelopes. My parents wouldn't let us use fancy printer paper, but they would allow us to use scrap paper. My parents made a special bucket for them to just put paper. That way we could take the papers out and draw on them. You don't need fancy stuff. Exactly. And that's the thing is like, you know, when I started animating, I had a Warrior Cats book. I had MS Paint, and I had a dream, bro. I had a dream. You know, I had something to work towards. And I am finally starting to get there. And yeah, my old Warrior Cats AMVs that I made that are now taken down, they were on a different channel on my YouTube than I have today anyways. But I hate when people call art a talent. It's a skill, it takes work, and people act like it's a crime to not be a master when you first start. I agree, and that's the thing is like, you know, there are so many things about, you know, if you're starting art, I like it's dead ass. I don't know how many people are watching right now. I can only see the chat. I can only see the YouTube and TikTok chat, but like I can't see how many people are watching. Like if you want to start, just start. Don't like obviously it's hard to it's really hard to not cave in to like when people are mean and when people are callous towards you and your art. But don't let them be mean. Don't let them. Like, don't tolerate that shit. If somebody's being fucking mean, call them out on it. And don't call them out, like, don't, and, like, this is actually something my sibling brought up with me. Because my sibling works at a local grocery store, and sometimes their coworkers or customers will say really rude things to them. And they don't come back with, like, a snarky reply. They just say, you're being really judgmental right now, and I think you should reflect on that. Then what do they say? They either
double down and are like, well, fuck you then. Or they actually take a minute and are like, oh, maybe I am being judgmental. And that's the thing, is like, don't be judgmental. You were where these artists started. You were where these artists are right now. You started there, bro. Why are we hating on, like, how can you hate something that you literally just were? Like, are we dead ass? Like I feel the same way about, like, don't get me wrong, I understand people who are like, children can be like overstimulating, you know, they're like really loud, like young kids, you know, like toddlers and like you know, like 8 to 9 year olds. It's like people who are like, oh yeah, kids are so annoying and I hate them. It's like, okay, hate's a strong word, especially because you were there once. You were a kid once. Like, and that's the thing, is like, you know, I don't know. I just don't like when people act all high and mighty because they got to a point with their skill, or they got to a point in life that they feel comfortable with, and that they're like, and then they're like, well, anybody who's not at this point is like stupid and shit. That tells me that you have an inferiority complex. If people genuinely like go to like a teenager who just started art like 2 days ago, and it's like, well, you know, my art's better than yours, then you have an inferiority complex, or you have a superiority complex, and neither are good. Neither are good. You don't get to be like, and you know, you don't get to just tell people like, oh, you suck, and you should never do this again. You don't get to do that, because you were there once. I don't care if you think you weren't, you were. Like, I think a lot of people don't really take into account like their childhood years as artists. Like a lot of people who act like this on the internet don't take into account that, hey, you were once the little kid drawing on with crayons on the walls too, right? Like you started with that. That's what you started with. Why are you hating on this? Why are you hating on this, which is like a digital art piece that is objectively really good lighting and like objectively way better than something you made as like a 5-year-old? Why are we hating? Why are we hating? Why is this such like an appealing thing to do? Like, dude, dead ass. I was talking to somebody, and like I have a friend, and they have a YouTube channel. I won't say their name yet, because I don't know if they want me to, and they're not in this stream, so I won't say their name. But they're starting their YouTube channel, and one of the fucking commenters was like, "Oh, you don't have any discernible talents or fucking whatever," and like was like, you know, being really rude and being like, well, why should you be a YouTuber? And it's like, okay, I don't know who needs to hear this. Probably no one watching me, because I hope that I hope I have, you know, like curated my audience to be like actually good people. But I don't know who needs to hear this. But you can have no reason to do things. You can have no reason. You can just be like, yeah, I want to do it. Why not? You can just be like, fuck it, we ball. That is something you can be like. That's fine. I don't see the issue, bro. Like, if somebody wants to have success, if somebody wants to like be a YouTuber, for example, it's like, you don't need a reason to be a YouTuber, bro. You don't need a reason. You don't need a reason to want to be a YouTuber. You can just want to be a YouTuber. Don't worry, you don't have to explain yourself. It's okay. Like, you can just want to do art, you can just want to do music, you can just want to. We're human, and that's all we can do, is we can want things, and then we can try to get them. And that's beautiful, in my opinion. That's a great thing. But it's frustrating when people are like, oh, well, you're not even, like, you're not even to the degree that I would, like, you know, like, you're not even to my degree, so, like, why do you want to do this? It's like, okay, why do you want to do this? Like, okay, if we're playing that game, why do you want to do this? Do you think you have some kind of fucking discernible talent or fucking skill? Go ahead. I'll let you speak. Here's the mic. Come on. Speak into the mic. You know, like, it's like dead ass. It's, you know, people who act so high and mighty because they're like, oh, well, I have 400 subs and you only have 200. It's like, okay, the numbers on YouTube and like TikTok and any social media platform, try not to get so wrapped up in them that, like, try not to get so wrapped up in your follower account that it's like literally like either getting to your head, like you're like a pompous bitch about the fact that you have like 10K followers, or and don't like get and also the flip side, don't let it get to you that there's only like that if you only have like 50 followers. Don't let that get to you. That doesn't mean your art sucks. That doesn't mean the things you do suck. That just means you haven't found your audience yet, man. And your audience is out there. Your audience is waiting. It's gonna come to you, I promise. It's gonna take time. Vac Animates in my YouTube chat said, dude, I hate, or Vac Animates said, yeah, you don't need a reason to do anything. The other day I broke an apple in half with my hands. Why? I don't know. I just felt like it. In the end, it was good because we all got a good laugh out of it. You don't need a reason to do anything. And I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly, bro. Like, you know, I didn't have any particular reason to want to start animating. I don't really like, you know, I didn't have any particular reason. I wasn't like, oh, I have to start animating to tell this like epic, like, story I want to tell her, like, you know, like I was like 7, bro. I was like 7 and I was like, I like warrior cats. I want to animate the silly orange cat dying or something. Like, you know, like I didn't have a reason. I didn't have like a crazy reason, or like I didn't think I was like all that talented. I just was like, I want to animate the silly orange cat getting exploded. And like that's like all you can do. Is like, you know, if you want to do something, do it. Don't let people talk you down. Don't let people be like, oh yeah, you suck at this, so you should never do it again. It's like, people who don't like when other people do things are like the worst type of people, man. Like, they dead ass. Like, they're like, tell me you're devoid of all joy and whimsy in life, bro. Like who hurt you? Who hurt you, man? And who hurt you? And when are you going to therapy? Like, dead ass, dude. Like, don't, like, I don't know. It's frustrating because it's like, you know, there's something beautiful about human creation, and, you know, there's something beautiful about creating and, you know, telling stories and doing what you want. And sometimes you don't need a reason to do what you want. You don't need a reason to want to become a YouTuber. You don't need a reason to want to become a showrunner. You can just want to become a showrunner. That's normal. That's normal, and I don't understand why people are like, well, yeah, but you need a reason. Because you don't. You don't. You dead ass straight up don't. Like, something that really bugs me about it is like, you know, like, I understand it's a different conversation to have about like, you know, like, to have about like, you know, like, can you assure that what you're going to make is quality, or are you prepared for the work that it's going to be to do this, or, you know, whatever. But it's another thing, in my opinion, like, it's one thing to bring that up with someone and be like genuinely concerned and be like, you know, I'm a little concerned. Are you prepared for this workload? And if you're not, how can I help you be prepared for this workload? And like, you know, and people often like don't take into account that, like, yeah, workload is one thing. But sometimes people also just want to do things. Just let them do it, man. It's not your life. It's not your life. Why do you care so much? Why do you give a fuck if, like, some kid is trying to make an animated show? Like, why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care that this kid is trying to make an animated that this person is trying to make an animated show and their art style is like not fully developed yet? Like, why do you care? If you actually, like, legitimately care about, like, you know, if you actually legitimately are like vehemently against, or like at all against people making their own animated shows just because their art style is not there yet, I say this with all the love in my heart, touch grass, bro. Touch some grass, bro. Like, hi, I immediately have to go. Oh yeah, no worries, Griffin Draws. No worries, but hello. But yeah, you know, like, you can, like, if you're pressed about, like, some kid, I immediately have to go soon. Oh, that's super fair, Griffin Draws. But, like, you know, if you're so pressed about a kid who has an underdeveloped, in your eyes, art style, wanting to make a TV show about, like, silly little blurbos doing their silly little thing, you need to get a life. Like, you dead ass need to get a life. And I don't say that to be mean. I just mean, like, go do your own thing. Go do your own thing. If you're so pressed about kids on the internet and people on the internet in general, no matter what age they are, doing their own thing, go touch grass. Go touch grass. You're too online. You're too online. You're banished to outside for a bit. Like, you're banished, bro. Like, you can't, you're not allowed to just come in and be like, oh, well, I don't think that like little Jimmy should make like an animation because he's not like prepared for like the workload, bro. And it's like, okay, do you hear yourself? You don't want a person who wants to make something creative and wants to do something to make that thing. You don't want that? You don't want that? That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird to me. Like, dead ass. And I feel like it's an immediate tell to me that people who are like, oh, well, you shouldn't make this because you suck at it. It's like people who say that type of shit are they feel either so inferior or they feel so superior to other people. And usually it's inferior and they're compensating for it by being dicks. And it's like, okay, can we not be dicks to like people who are just trying to have fun? Like, or just trying to make things? Like, can we not be dicks to them? Like, that would be good. I'd like that. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just so, like, frustrated about it because it's like, how is this happening? Like, why are we letting people be so mean on the internet? And, like, people are like, oh, be nonchalant, bro. It's it's, like, not fucking big deal or anything. And it's like, yes, it is. If you, like, you ever heard of cyberbullying? Like, if you go out of your way to be mean to people on the internet consistently, I hate to say it, bro, but you're a cyberbully. You're just a cyberbully. You think that being behind a screen gives you so much, like, protection that you're like, oh, I'm just gonna be an asshole to everybody who I don't think deserves, like, any shred of, like, kindness. It's like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? I don't know. I could go on for hours about this. I won't. But it's important to me that people who are watching this understand that, like, anybody who's watching this understands that if you have a story to tell, if you have a skill you want to learn, if you want to do something, just do it, man. Just do it. You're going to have so much more fun if you just stop worrying and just go for it. Like, and again, you don't even need, like, an animated, like, for example, for animated shows, you don't even need an animation program. Oop, bye. Okay, see you, Griffin Draws. But, you know, you don't even need an animation program. You can start with paper. You can start with clay. You can start with anything. You can start with Lego. Are we forgetting the ancient texts, my brothers in Christ? My brothers in Christ, are we forgetting the 10 Commandments? One of which is animate your little silly Lego figures with stop motion. Are we forgetting that? Are we forgetting that that's possible? Like, we can't forget the old magic, okay? We can't forget the deep magic that, you know, I was there for watching it be written. You know, or no, that's not the quote, but you know what I mean. Like, why is it such an offense on the internet to be cringe? Why is that such a bad thing? Why is it such a bad thing if you're like, oh yeah, I'm you know, like, and don't get me wrong, I understand what some people think is weird about it, but, like, some people are like, oh, I'm Yume ship, like, I'm a Yume shipper, or, like, a Yume shipper is just, like, a self-shipper. Obviously, I think everybody here knows that, but I just, you know, you can start with yourself. Pictures of yourself can be put together for animation. I believe it's specifically called pixelation. Exactly, and that's the thing, right, is, like, that's another really important thing, is, like, you know, you can just start with anything. Animation is not meant to just be, like, digital anime art. It's not just that. Animation is so many different things. Like, are we forgetting the, like, first animated feature film? Are we forgetting the first animated feature film? Made by a German woman. Let me find it. Hang on. The Adventures. Okay, I studied this in my animation class I was a part of. Prince Ahmed. So this is the first ever, like, fully animated, like, feature film. Let me get it up. So it's called The Adventures of Prince Ahmed. It's by a German girl, a German director. And oh my god. Okay, you want to know how they made this movie? They didn't use like a fancy animation program. This was made in 1926. This was made in 1926. They didn't use a fancy animation program to make it. They literally cut like all of these shapes that you see are literally cut out from paper, and they would stop motion it. They would take pictures, move it a little bit, take another picture, move it a little bit, take another picture. Like, don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because you can. Like, this is the first actual, like, animated feature feature film. It came out in 1926, and it is all paper cutouts, and all like super elaborate paper cutouts too. And like, don't let anybody ever tell you you can't do something, because even if you feel like you can't, you can. I guarantee it. Like, you know, even if you don't have like the proper setup to do it, you can do it. I believe in you. And you know what? I know I'm just a random dude on the internet, but I believe in you. And I think that should count for something. I think it should count that somebody believes in you, regardless of who they are. Regardless of whether or not they're someone important to you, or someone you know, or someone you look up to. Regardless of that, I believe in you. And that is like the best, that's like all I can give. That is like the best thing I can give you, is my belief. I believe you can do this. Looks awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm happy you like it. Yeah. But like, you know, it's just kind of the thing is like, there's something that humans really, I feel like we kind of lost the plot as people. We kind of lost the plot. We were kind of like, well, you know, it's whatever. We can just like be mean or whatever. And it's like, why are we wanting to be so mean? Why is it like a fun thing for humans to be? Why is it fun to be mean? I don't understand it. Like, if you were actually a good person, you would not be mean to people who were where you once were. You know? Like, oh my god. Sometimes I get like in my head about like my abilities to animate, because I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get like eaten alive when I make my first animated show, because it's not gonna be like the most well put together. Something that is super cool is the first recorded animation on video called Phantasmagorie, made in 1908. It's very odd but very cool. That's super dope. I love that. And see, like, that's something that I think is, like, really important, is that a lot of people, I think insecurities, I agree, dude. Like, honestly, I like, that's the thing, is, like, you know, it's frustrating to watch, because it's, like, there's something so, like, I don't know, like, particularly for animation, I think there's something so beautiful about watching somebody turn pictures into motion. Like, did you watch Havoc in Heaven from 1964? Yes, I have. Havoc in Heaven is a wonderful, like, it's, like, I quite like that film. Like, and that's the thing, is, like, you know, all these films, like Phantasmagorie, or you know, like Havoc in Heaven, or, you know, like The Adventures of Prince Ahmed. These are all old films that were made with, like, literally, I say I was, like, when I was a Warrior Cats animator at the ripe age of, like, 7 or 8 or 6 or whatever, I said I had a dream. I said I have only, like, an animation, like MS Paint, a book, and a dream. But you know what? These guys were, like, literally working off dreams, because they didn't even have, like, an animation program of any kind. They didn't have any kind of digital program. They were just like, we have paper. We have paper and a dream. And that is incredible. First recorded animation not on video is all the way from cavemen. Exactly. The flickering light of the fire would create the illusion of animation, so they could make multiple legs on the animations to simulate on the animals to simulate movement. Exactly. And, like, you know, humans have always wanted to turn pictures into, like, videos, bro. Like, that is, I don't understand why it's such, like, a weird concept to some people. Like, oh, animation's for kids. No, actually, cavemen tried to do animation, actually. So we shouldn't be like, oh yeah, cavemen, you know, like, art's for kids. And it's like, okay, but art is such an innately human thing. Like, it's such an innately human thing. To be human is to make art, in my opinion. I did a whole history of animation as my final project in high school. That's awesome. That's awesome, Vac. That's really cool. And like that's kind of the thing, right? Is like, there's just like I get insecure. Yeah, I think shadow puppet theater. Yeah, exactly. And like there's something so wonderful about like the fact that like I don't know. I personally think that there's something so beautiful about like humans wanting to turn something that is like a still picture into motion. I think that's beautiful. I think that's amazing. I think that's so funny and so silly of us. And I think to be a human is to want to make art, regardless of what type of art you want to make. You always want to make art, in my opinion. Like, yeah, there's creatively bankrupt people who are like, yeah, I don't really like art, but they don't think they like art, but they do. They do. Like, like there's, I don't know, I could talk about this for hours. It's just like, there's something about making art that is so innately human and so innately gorgeous that I don't know, it's something so important to me. And honestly, if anybody out there is like, wanting to make an animated show or wanting to make like, like a comic or like wanting to make like I don't know, like a book or like a song or like any kind of like music or anything. If anybody's wanting to make that, try it. That's what I'm saying. Just try it. When I did some small animations, I feel like a wizard. I'm not an animator. Oh, that's so fair, dude. That's so fair, my guy. And that's the thing is like, I don't know. I just feel like it's very important. We're like, okay, I worded this to my partner. I worded it like this to my partner, and I'm going to word it like this to you guys as well. I am like humans, we're just hamsters. We're just silly little hamsters in our little cage, and we need some enrichment. We can't just have stuff to eat and stuff to drink. We also need enrichment. We also need to have like things we can do for fun. We need to have things that we can build a skill with. We need to have like, we're just hamsters. We're just hamsters. Like one of the things is like, I was talking to my partner and I was like, if you have a hamster alone in his cage with just food and water, no like chips on the ground, no no hamster wheel, that hamster's going to have a miserable life because he's not enriched. And that's the same for us humans. If we're not enriching ourselves and taking time to enrich ourselves, it's bad for us. Who knew? Who knew? Crazy, I know. It's just, it's important that everybody has enrichment and that they do things to help enrich their brains and their bodies. And I think that is like, art is one of my favorite ways to enrich myself. Like, I love it. Like, I don't know, and there's so many judgmental people on the internet who will like look at beginners and be like, oh yeah, you suck. And it's like, okay, I would like to see you animate then, bud. Like, come on, let me see you do it. Come on, show me your hands. Come on, you got 10 minutes. Go ahead. It's like, I don't know. It's just frustrating because it's like, I don't understand how people get so like up their own ass about like, oh yeah, this is definitely like, what I'm doing, bro. Like, this is like I don't know. I don't even know how to word it. I'm blabbing at this point. It's frustrating to watch people be like, oh yeah, I like, I don't know. It's just frustrating. Because it's like, you're not animation fucking Jesus, bro. You're not a gift to the world just because you can animate frames smoother than, like, Kevin can. Like, fuck off. Like, there's no reason for you to be such a dick about it. Like, just because you think you're fucking James Baxter, just because you think you're the god of animation, doesn't mean you actually are. So don't act like it. Don't act like you're the god of animation, because you probably aren't. Like, in my opinion, even James Baxter, okay, I love James Baxter's work. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not going to say he's like a bad animator or anything. He's an incredible animator. But in my opinion, that doesn't make him better than anyone else. That doesn't make him better
than anybody. He's just a guy who has honed his skill. And that should be something that we're all working towards. We're all working towards honing our skills to the point where we feel like we're happy with them. And James Baxter, you know, he's very known for his smooth animation, for his animation specifically on 1s and 2s. But you know, you don't have to do that. That doesn't mean you're less of an animator than he is. That just means you're going a different route, baby. Everybody's got their own routes. That's why I don't get the art community hate mob every month for every mistake a young artist makes. I agree, dude. Oh my god, like, dead ass, like, straight up. It's frustrating, because it's like, I don't understand what the big issue with people not being the best is. Like, why is... Like, let's normalize sucking ass at things again. Let's normalize that. Let's normalize being complete ass at something. Let's normalize. Let's talk about it. I am complete ass at like music. Like, I can't do music, bro. I gotta get going to bed. Good night. Okay. Have a good night back. But you know, like, I am complete ass at making music right now. Does that mean I'll get better? Meant to do an exclamation mark, lol. No, totally. But, like, you know, does that mean I won't get better? No. That just means I have to start somewhere. And I'm not going to start at the top. I'm not fucking Beethoven. And even Beethoven didn't start at the fucking top, bro. Like, I'm just like, you know, it's just frustrating because it's like, I am complete ass at music design right now. Like, sound design is one thing. I'm fine with sound design as far as, like, sound effects and, like, compiling a bunch of sounds together goes, but as far as making music, I am like literal ass at it. Like, I literally can't. But why is that a bad thing? Like, why is it a bad thing to suck at something? Why can it just be can it be like a meh thing to suck at something again? Can we have it just be like oh yeah, I kind of suck at this, but I'll get better. And even if you don't get better, this is like a controversial thing that I've heard that I have seen people like dog on this opinion in like a lot of spaces. But even if you don't get better at something, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. You don't need a reason to want to do things. You can just do them. You can just want to do them. You can just want to like actually like, you know, you can just actually want to like enjoy what you're doing. You can just I don't know, man. I'm just losing my marbles. There's something so frustrating about it, because it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. There's just, like, don't be a dick. It's not that hard to not be a dick, you know? Like, it's actually pretty easy to not be an asshole to other people on the internet. And it's pretty easy to, like, actually understand, like, okay, maybe I'm not the best at this. Maybe I'm not, like, God. Maybe I'm not, like, literal, like, animation Jesus Christ. Like, let's not kid ourselves. You know, like there was, like, an animator. I can't remember their name, but no. Hang on. Let me think. There was this, when I was animating, okay, here's a more personal anecdote. When I first started animating, I only could do, like, the like, you know, like, the animation meme head bops. And I was like, I'm a god. I'm better than everybody else. And it's like, okay, no, you're not. Let's get that fucking straight. You are not better than anybody else just because you can do a fucking head bop, bro. And even if you could do something actually really impressive with your animation, you're still not better than anybody else. Just means you honed your skills, man. Like, I don't get it. It shouldn't be a big issue. It shouldn't be a big issue if you're not good at something. And if you're actively trying to get better, then people should allow you that space to get better instead of being like, well, you suck. You should just never do this again. Because it's like, okay, that's not a productive argument though. Because like, what do you pose they do instead? Like what, and that's the thing is like, when you ask these people this stuff, they're like, well, just stop. And it's like, okay, so your whole argument is falling apart because you're like, oh, well, this young artist should stop making art. And it's like, okay, what do you pose they do instead? Make music? And you're like, and they're like, no, but they should just stop. And it's like, okay, then what are you implying?
What exactly are you trying to imply? Should this artist just fucking, like, die? Is that what you're implying? Because that kind of sounds like what you're implying. You sound like you're telling them not, like, to do nothing and just be a corpse. That sounds like what you're telling them to me, so... You know, like, and there's, I don't know. There's a difference between giving people honest, good faith criticism and being a dick. Like, good faith criticism, in my opinion, and I've been in, like, you know, good faith criticism circles. I want to get into 2D animation only to animate my OC to do martial arts art forms. That's it. That's so fair, dude. Oh my god. That would be sick as fuck. Like, and that's, okay, and that, I have to say, I have been in, like, animation class, and I have been in, like, character design classes, and I've taken post-secondary, like, courses before. I haven't been in a full year of post-secondary yet, but I hopefully will be going to one soon. I hopefully will be in one soon. But I've taken courses in post-secondary, and every time I have taken a course, they have told me, like, okay, like they've told the class, like, okay, if you're gonna, like, criticize something, you gotta make it like a compliment sandwich. You gotta be like, I really like how you did this. This could use a little work, but this is really good. And, like, that's, and, like, I don't know why the internet loses that so much. Like, the internet loses, like, the idea of, like, a compliment sandwich, where it's like, if somebody's asking for actual good faith criticism, you can just be like, oh yeah, I think, well, first off, I think I think the way you did the hair is very beautiful. I think that your form, the form of, like, the character here could use a little bit of work. But I think that this dancing animation is overall pretty good. Like, that's, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why that's a hard thing to do for people. It's because people are professional fucking haters, bro. And I'm not going to attribute it to the rise of conservatism on the internet, but I am going to contribute it to that. Like, the rise of right-wingness on the internet is definitely, like, one of the biggest culprits for why people are so mean to each other now. It's like, can we just be nice? Like, but no, it's when people are different, they're treated as others. And, you know, you don't want to be an other. Fuck, I don't know, man. I just hate. I don't hate. I'm the exact opposite of hate. I love when people do stuff. I love when people, like, make stuff they want to make. I love when people, like, go for it, you know? I don't like when people are, like, openly, like, really fucking mean to other people about them just trying out a new skill. Or just not being the best at something. I think because of the YouTube critics, you know, like Solar Sands. I agree. Oh my god. Solar Sands, like, did, like, fucking, like, literally irreparable damage. Like, Solar Sands and PK Russell, literally, like, those guys did, like, irreparable damage to, like, the young artist community. Solar Sands, PK Russell, and there's another guy, I can't remember his name. You know, I personally find it all funny that each of these dudes are men. Of course they are. Of course they're fucking men. Like, obviously, I'm not a hater of men. I'm a man myself, but, I identify as a man myself, but I do think that it's funny that cis guys were just like, oh yeah, let's, these specific cis guys were just like, oh yeah, let's hate on kids on the internet. It's like, do you have no joy or whimsy? Like, and I'm not saying that's an issue with all cis guys, of course. I'm just saying it's like, of course it's like the guy, of course it's like a fucking random dude. Of course it's like a random dude, he probably lives in his mom's basement, and he wants to talk to you, he wants to talk big shit about, like, oh yeah, you should animate like this, when he's never animated in his life. And, you know, like, I understand wanting to have, like, a YouTube critique thing, like, that's one thing. But wanting to have a YouTube critique, like, channel, critique is very different from, like, just straight up hate. You know, like, that's very different. Those are two different things. Like, you can be, like, you can do criticism that's, like, you can give criticism, and you can not be a dick about it. And that's criticism. Then you give criticism and you're an asshole, and it's like, okay, that's being a dick. That's just hating. That's just those are two separate things. And people really like to hide behind the guise of like, oh, but I'm just giving criticism. And it's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You are looking for any excuse to hate people who you see as underneath you. Like, you're just a hateful person, and you're devoid of all joy and whimsy in life. And I hope you like really assess that with a therapist one day, that you're so like devoid of joy and whimsy. Like, I hope that is really something that you address with a therapist someday, instead of taking it out on kids on the internet and taking it out on people on the internet. That's the takeaway. If you want to like have a critique channel, it's one thing to have actual critique and, get people who are asking for the critique to submit their work. It's another thing to just take, like with PK Russell, taking like random Warrior Cats maps made by like animators on YouTube, and just being like, oh, this sucks, and you suck. Actually, it's like that's two different things. You can't have both. You don't get to just be like, oh yeah, I'm giving criticism, and then you're just being a dick. It's like that's not cool. That's not cool. And I think that should go without saying. But there's so many people who are just like, they have like a hate boner. They're like, oh, I love hating people. I love it. And it's like, why? Why do you love hating people so much? Like, if you love hating on like young artists, if you love hating on anybody, like seriously, get help. Get therapy, bro. Get therapy, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, in my opinion, like for example, like people like PK Russell really piss me off, because it's like, dude, you don't know how to animate. What are you doing a fucking review of a Warrior Cats map? You don't know how to animate. I'd like to see you try. Go ahead. Okay. Come on. Show us your animations. Do it. Like, I'd like to see you animate a whole map. I'd like to see you animate like a map part, I'd like to see you animate like, like anything. Cuz you don't. You can't. And that's why you hate on these people who can, cuz you're jealous. You're jealous, and you're a fragile little dude. And, I don't know. I don't like PK Russell. I like it all, cuz he did like irreparable damage. Like PK Russell and Solar Sands, they did like irreparable damage to the young artist community, and it's like so frustrating because of, in my opinion, them and the people like them and the rise of conservatism and right-wing bullshit on the internet. People are so mean to young artists now. Especially, in my opinion, diverse young artists, like artists who try to like, artists who try to include diversity in their work, or try to, or artists with God forbid an artist has a disabled OC. Oh my God, that's fucking insane. But due to people like PK Russell and like Solar Sands and fucking whatever the fuck, and the rise of like right-wing bullshit on the internet, it's become such a toxic place to be yourself, and and not even just kids who have like diverse OCs, but just artists who exist as other types of human, who exist as who exist not as white people, or not as able-bodied people, or not as or not as like whatever the fuck, or not as fucking not as like, I don't know, like anybody who could be treated as diverse is shown to be like, is always treated like, oh well, you shouldn't even be trying, because we don't want people like you in our like realm. It's like the women in like gaming thing, where it's like, oh, women are ruining gaming, and it's like, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. You don't like tell me you can't get pussy without telling me you can't get pussy. But like dead ass, like, I don't know. But like it's frustrating, because it's like, I really don't like, I'm not gonna say I hate them, but I definitely really don't like YouTubers who are just like, yeah, I'm really good at art, or I'm really good at blank, or hell, even if they're not, I hate it. I don't like it. I possibly don't like it more when they are like, yeah, I have no reason to speak on this, but I'm going to. But like, You know, like, one of the things that really bugs me is, like, you know, like, PK Russell, as far as I know, he was not an animator. He was not, like, actually, like, what qualified him to do reviews of Warrior Cats multi-animator projects? Like, what gave him that right? He's not a critic, you know, and that's the thing is, like, critics are, like, literally critics, in my opinion. Yeah, I remember those anti-SJW artists. Yeah, all horrible people and always complain. I agree. And there's, like, you know, like, there's people who are like, oh, you know, like, being like, people who think being edgy and being rude are, like, really funny. And it's like, dude, like, do you ever get a break? Do you ever have a break? Do you ever, like, take a minute and think what you're doing is not good? Like, do you ever take a second and actually, like, legit understand that what you're doing is harmful? And do you ever take a minute and be like, oh, damn, I could be going out right now. I could be touching grass instead of arguing with kids on the internet. Damn. Anyways. But, you know, like, it's just frustrating because there's, like, it's frustrating because there's a lot of things that a lot of people are, you know, like, I don't know. Like, especially with, like, people like PK Russell and other animation review YouTubers who, like, don't do animation themselves. It's like, okay, you try. Here, you get up on the podium. You have 10 minutes. Animate something. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'd like to see you try. Go ahead. Like, 100%. If you can churn something out, that's actually half decent, okay. That doesn't give you the right to dog on other people. But okay, I can at least see that you're, like, okay, somewhat qualified. But no, these people are never qualified because they're fucking losers. And they're like, oh, fuck, I'm like, if I did that, I'd be, like, so much better, bro. And it's like, no, you know, if you wanted to be so much better, you'd actually do it. But you're not. Because you don't want to be better. You just want to think about being better because it gives your brain more dopamine than, like, trying a skill and actually failing at it. It is okay. Like, it's okay, man. We just know you have a dopamine, like, you have a dopamine, your dopamine farming is just hating on kids on the internet. Don't worry, we know. We know, you don't have to tell us, bro. What are other, like, really, like, dumb-ass, like, art, like dumb, like, not dumb, but, like, you know, like, really, like, polarizing art YouTubers, or, like, animation YouTubers, or, like, you know, like, YouTubers that mainly made, content about, like, animating, and they don't really do it themselves, because I can think of a few, but I don't know. Excuse me. Like, there was one person who I used to watch, like, cringe compilations all the time when I was in, like, middle school, because I was like, oh, I could do so much better. Literally, I had never picked up a pencil in my life. I think Just a Robot. Oh, God, Just a Robot, bro. Jar, are you fucking kidding me? Bro is so annoying. Bro is literally annoying. Like, I'm sorry. That is my personal opinion. People can disagree with me. Just a Robot, in my opinion, fucking annoying. Fucking so annoying. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. I don't want to hear you, like, dog on these young animators and then just be like, oh, well, I have a PNG tuber, so I'm like, you know, like, I have, like, the reason, I have, like, a reason to talk about this. And it's like, no, yeah, just get a life. Get a life, bro. It's not that hard. Like, if you want to have a actual, like, you know, I don't know. If you want to have an actual, like, good relationship with your audience or with anybody, really, just don't hate. Just don't be a fucking loser and hate on everybody. Because you know what that makes you? A fucking loser. It makes you a fucking loser if you hate on everybody. Because they're like, go get a life. Go do something other than hate. Like, go do something other than, like, he's also really gross as a person, so valid as fuck to hate him. Super creepy. Yeah, like, his content was like watching a rant of an angry uncle, but instead of politics, he talks about tunes. Yeah, dead ass, dude. Also, like, yeah, I've heard he's super creepy. I don't know if that's true or not, but, you know, I'm more inclined to believe, you know, a victim over, you know, a potential weirdo. But, okay. One of the things that really bugs me is, like, Dream Doggo gave a heart. Thank you, Dream Doggo. Okay, his content was like, yeah, watching a rant of an angry uncle, but instead of politics, he just talks about cartoons. Exactly. It's like, oh my god, dude, like, why do you care so much? Why do you, and at least, like, the uncle, like, the uncle in this, like, hypothetical scenario, at least has somewhat of a reason to care about it. Politics affect everybody. You can just turn off YouTube if you find something you don't like on it. You can just say, there's literally a button on YouTube where you can be like, don't recommend this to me again. And then YouTube will be like, oh yeah, sorry about that. You don't have to make like a hate boner fucking video about like where you hide behind the guise of like, oh, I'm just giving criticism. And it's like, okay, there's a difference between giving criticism and like actually just being a loser. I'm sorry, like dead ass. People who make like art review videos, especially of art, like specifically of art that they don't get asked to review, or animations they don't get asked to review, you're losers. You're fucking losers. I'm saying that right now. You're a loser if you do that. Like go out and get some fucking go seek pussy somewhere. Go seek pussy or dick or whatever you want. Go seek happiness. Go seek something that is more fulfilling for your life than fucking hating random people on the internet. Like that's so dumb. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, I don't hate on people on the internet because I'm not a loser. I used to be a loser. 100% I used to be a loser. And I would, like, hate on people. I wouldn't, like, openly hate on people, but I definitely had my time where I was like, oh, I'm so much better than this person or whatever the fuck. Like, I never say that, but I definitely had that time in my life. I feel like that's a canon event for a lot of young artists who feel inferior. Is, they feel like they have to be better than everyone else. Otherwise, next you will tell them not to harass kids. Dead ass, bro. Like, and like, I don't know. And like, it's frustrating because one of the things that is like, really weird to me is that, it's just, I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about it. And like, there is something so frustrating about like, oh yeah, this guy, he has a PNG tuber, so I should listen to him. It's like, no. Just because this guy has a fucking stupid ass robot PNG, like PNG tuber, and like a dumbass opinion, doesn't mean you have to fucking agree with it or listen to him. Like, in my opinion, Just a Robot's a fucking loser. Like, okay, I'm not gonna go too much on it. I don't want to throw stones in a glass house, but obviously I'm not creepy like fucking Just a Robot, but I'm not creepy, and I'm not a fucking weirdo, and I'm not a fucking loser, but I'm a YouTuber, so I don't want to throw stones in a glass house. It's just, I don't know. Like, don't be a fucking mean asshole, and don't be a weirdo. That's the biggest thing. Is like, don't like if you're genuinely thinking it's funny to like go on like an online game, or to like go on like some kind of like, or to like go on like, I don't know, like a kid's MMO, or like somewhere that's dominated an online space that is dominated mostly by children, and think it's funny to like clown on them and like troll them and shit. It's like, are you like 10? Like, do you lack the do you lack most of your frontal lobe? Like, is that dead ass what happens? Like, I don't know. I just don't understand, because there's like, I don't know. It's just frustrating because there's so many people who are like, like there's so many promising young animators that get so discouraged by, people like fucking Just a Robot, and people like fucking, like fucking whatever the fuck, fucking, what's his name? Fucking, I forget his fucking name. The guy, oh, I literally just said it. Like people like Just a Robot, people like PK Russell, people like, like Solar Sands. It's like, don't let these fucking losers on the internet tell you what you can and can't do. Don't let them tell you what you can and can't do. And you know what? If you try something and you find that you can't do it the first time, try again. I'm being dead ass. Even if you find that you fail the first time, that doesn't mean you're failed the second or the third, or however many times you need to retry. That doesn't mean you're always going to fail. Hi, NJ. Welcome to the stream. And, like, right now I'm just talking about how much people are, like, so mean on the internet, and, like, just, they got fucking weird, like, they're so hateful
on the internet, especially to like young artists and like new animators and stuff. And I'm specifically talking about like I was specifically talking about like channels like PK Russell and like, you know, like Solar Sands, which were like canon events for me as a kid. Where, you know, you'd watch where they just like tell animators and tell like a young artist like, well, you should stop doing this. This is my art pet peeve. And it's like, okay, literally like go outside, get a real issue, go vote, bro. Like bro was voting age at when he bro, like Solar Sands was voting age when he made most of his videos, to my knowledge. Like go outside, go vote in the election and use your adulthood for something productive, something more productive than hating on randoms on the internet. Yeah, people are really hateful. I speak from my own experience. Yeah, I like definitely like NJ, like there are so many people who are just so like mean and like callous, especially towards like younger and like beginner animators on the internet. Like you know, like I wanted to ask, I want to ask like NJ, what kind of like experience have you had? Obviously, if you don't want to say, that's totally fine. I just, you know, I'm sharing some anecdotal evidence of my like stuff I have been through and stuff I've experienced. So if you want to share some, that is totally 100% allowed. But like, you know, I don't know. It's just like there's so much more productive things that an adult can do than like hate on random people on the internet, especially random kids. Like, you know, like there's people who are like, yeah, you know, like I don't know, man. I'm just frustrated because I'm like, dude, what, why are we doing that? Why is that like so yummy to some people to be like, oh yeah, this is the one, bro. We're gonna hate on so many children, and it's like, okay, get a life. Oh my god. But like, yeah, like NJ, I know you're wanting to make a show in Dreamscape, if I'm not wrong. That is the title. Yeah, Dreamscape. And you know, like I'm sure people haven't exactly been the nicest about it, because people suck. Yeah, I got a bad experience like on my first video, which went viral. Okay, here, let me read this from the start. NJ said, yeah, I got a bad experience like on my first video, which went viral. Someone said that. Oh god, what'd they say, bro? What'd they say? I'm on the edge of my goddamn seat, bro. I'm on the edge of my seat because people are so mean to kids on the internet for no reason. People are so mean on the internet for no reason. Not even just to kids, but to everybody. 2, NJ said, someone said that I'm never going to make that happen and that I won't find anyone helping. Oh my god, bro. Like, literally, like, people like that. People who are like, bro, yeah, you'll never like get anywhere with your life. It's like, okay, tell me you went nowhere with your life, bro. Tell me you went nowhere with your life, little bro, and you're like bitter about it, so you're hating on other people who are going places. Like, bruh. I don't know, dude. It's just frustrating. Because it's like, you know, there's something so wonderful if you just don't be a little asshole. If you just don't, you know, you can just be chill. It's possible. You can just be chill. And you can just like, you know, if other people are doing things that are like bugging you, you can just like wash your hands of it. You can just like, especially on the internet, you can just be like, oh, it's not my problem. Not my problem. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Like, that dead ass. Like, it is that easy. If somebody's doing something you don't like on the internet, just fucking block and block and like move on. I mean, I don't want to make anything bad. I am just in school right now and I make it for fun. Exactly. And that's the thing, right? Is like, and that's the thing is like, you know, it's, I don't know. Also, like, why is it such like a crazy idea that like, also like that person saying that you won't find anybody who wants to help is such a like tell me that, I don't know. That's like such a dumb way to think, because like literally there are so many people who would jump at the opportunity to help with like an animated series, you know? Like there's so many people who would jump at the opportunity to do that. Like even if it is like just, you know, started on TikTok, you know, like even if it's not like the most quote unquote fucking professional thing ever,
who cares? People would jump at the opportunity to do shit like that because people love that shit. And I don't think that's like a bad thing. What, like, why is that? I don't know. If you, like, I don't know, man. Oh, I met a lot of talented artists. Yeah, right? Like, right? And, like, that's the thing is, like, I don't know. I don't know, man. There's so many, like, people who are just, like, so mean and just like, so callous towards people who don't even deserve it. Like, you know, if you're gonna be callous and you're gonna be mean to people, make sure they fucking deserve it. Don't just be a dick for no reason. Like, if you're gonna be callous, that person better have done something to you. That person better have burned your crops and killed your family. Like, dude, don't just be a dick for no reason. Yeah, I am at 110 people in a Discord right now, and all of them are really fun and like family. That's awesome, NJ. That's awesome. And like, you know, that's, I don't know. Like, and that's the thing is like, you know, you will meet people who will help. And that's the thing is like, people will literally jump at the opportunity to be part of something like that. And like, I don't know. That person saying like, oh, well, you're never going to get anywhere. It's like, okay, tell me that you think you're never going to get anywhere and you're taking it out on this person on the internet. Tell me you feel inferior and the only way you can feel superior is by hating people on the internet. Just be honest. Be honest, bro. Be dead ass. Be straight up with me. Like, I don't know. There's so many like people that are so like especially if you're wanting to like I understand, don't get me wrong. You know, there are some things that like young writers in my opinion should focus on, specifically for like making an animated show in the context of making an animated show, you know. There should be a like, you know, there should be priorities, but also like I don't know, like some people just do stuff for fun, man. Like it's not, for some people it's not a career. Like for me it's a career, so I do it differently. But for some people it's just for fucking fun. Like why is that a problem? Like why is it a problem to just do something that's fun for fun? Like I don't understand it. I don't understand it. If you're having fun, have fun. I don't get it. I don't know. Like, and the type of people who want to argue with me on points like that are the type of people who are like, oh yeah, they'll just call me a cornball twice and then like give up on the argument. It's like, okay, man, I'm not even gonna dignify you with a fucking response, bro, because like you put so little effort into thinking about what you were gonna say to me that you just called me a cornball twice. I mean, somehow I think that I am probably getting bigger than him. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. And honestly, like, I totally understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know. People just really grind my gears when they're like, oh, yeah, you'll never get anywhere. It's like, okay, tell me you think you'll never get anywhere, and then, you know, you're taking it out on some people on the internet that you don't know. Like, oh my god. Sorry, I've been talking about this for so long, but I'm just like, God, it grinds my gears. I just get so frustrated. Because it's like, you know, like, I don't know. You can just not be an asshole. That's a thing you can do. You can just not be a dick. Like it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Step 1, shut the fuck up. You know, like step 2, go away. Oh my god, hi Kitty. Hi Edie. Why are you yelling? I was like, do I hear like coyotes screaming outside? No, it is the cat. Hello, Edie. Do you want love? That's a yes. Hi, yes, hello. I don't know. I don't know. Like, you know, and I've talked a lot of shit on this stream, and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go grab something really quick. I will finish my thought in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that taking a minute. I just stuffed a shit ton of chicken in my face. And I can tell the cat is upset with me because I did not share. But sorry, cat, I'm not gonna share. That's my chicken. Do you hear me? No, I'm not. Well, and also you shouldn't eat human food. You're cats. Eat cat food. Like fish. Well, it's also a human. Humans can eat fish. Humans can eat fish. I guess. Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, maybe I want to do this and this and this and this. I'm just gonna... So what if I like start with like one where it's like kind of going back a little bit? Hang on. I have to like get a specific like look for this nailed down. Okay, there. Okay, perfect. And then we'll just have like the head like do that, you know? You know, you get it. Okay, let's see. Let's see how that looks. Does it look any good? I feel like if it does, it needs one extra frame. Just one. Just one extra frame. People only need one extra frame. You know, like, I don't know if I'm streaming to anybody. I think my streaming program is having a minute, so I cannot see. The viewers are hidden, so I don't know if I'm even streaming to anybody, but I'm going to keep streaming because I have fun. Wait, what? Why is it like... What is happening, bro? I understand what's happening. Never mind. I get it. I get it. You don't have to tell me. I understand. I understand the issue. Okay. So, working on commissions, bruh. Anyways, let's, okay. Okay, I need to double check. See that? It looks a little jank for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, the drawings aren't finished, but shouldn't look crazy jank like that. Maybe it's because I don't have... Yeah, maybe it's, Okay. Gotta go. I hope you have a great day. Okay, see you, dude. Have a good one. What am I doing? Right, okay. So the vibe... How did I slice my finger on nothing? What did I even cut it open on? You know, it's just a paper cut, which sucks because it stings, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. I love it. Hang on one sec.